Special guest in here with us again today.
We do.
Dude's back.
Hi, guys.
The dude.
I'd like to thank Mike Oshidi for letting me come back. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Mike.
No, so we're here. We're live all over the Facebooks, the YouTubes, and now the Twitch.
And the Twitch. That's
Thanks
a
again.
second timer.
Second timer for this Twitch. And we got, with no, absolutely no promotion whatsoever, we had like 3 viewers on our live stream for Twitch. I don't know how they found about it. I didn't do anything on the website. I didn't promote anything.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they just like suggested us to some people.
That's
which
good.
Is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're listening though on Facebook and YouTube especially, take a minute and hit the share button.
Share this video,
and the like
please.
button's great too. The like button is like it's like a little appetizer.
It is. It'll get it to some people, but that share button, man.
That is the main.
That's
course.
the meat and taters right there.
And the dessert.
And the dessert.
And it's the cherry on top.
It's like putting your French fries in your smoothie, or what is it? Frosty at Wendy's. You ever done that?
No.
Oh my gosh.
I'm against those kinds of things.
Oh no, I'm not.
You're very.
Oh,
sick
you're gonna
individual.
find out what I'm against here pretty soon.
Ooh. But yeah, hit that share button because when you do, things blow up. We get like thousands of views on Facebook.
Hundreds of thousands of views.
Man, you guys are really taking off.
We are actually. Our numbers are pretty solid.
I tell you what, you guys out in Colorado.
Is Colorado?
Colorado hammered it in the last 2 weeks.
I've always loved Colorado. One of my favorite places in the world.
So Colorado had more views than Illinois did, or more downloads than Illinois did for like 2 weeks in a row.
Wow.
So when are you guys going to quit your
It's
jobs?
crazy.
I mean, if you guys are just blowing up.
You know, if we had a couple 100,000 more listeners.
Yeah. We need a few more in order to think about that, but
Getting close, though.
maybe when we're 40.
Hang on today, guys, because our big thing we're going to do coming up in the second half is we're going to do top 10 Adam Sandler movies.
Everybody loves Adam Sandler.
It was
at a point.
At the request of my wife.
Yes.
That's her idea.
She has very good ideas. I tell you
does,
what.
yeah.
She comes up with the majority of our ideas recently. But Adam Sandler has a bajillion movies. I don't know if you know this or not, but he's basically been in everything. And has also created probably 30 movies for Netflix. Like, that's all he's doing now is just creating movies for Netflix.
And comedy specials.
He did the one, and that was pretty good. Did you ever watch that?
Yeah, I did the charity one.
I thought it was pretty decent.
Yeah, I liked it.
Was it
that
charity?
the one? Oh,
No, it
no.
wasn't charity.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the Seth Rogen hilarity for charity.
Oh.
But no, you're right. Adam Sandler had one. Like,
That's hard to get confused.
is it? They're similar.
I guess. Seth Rogen, Adam Sandler. They're both Jewish.
Vic says 3
They are.
for some reason. I don't know what he's referring to with that.
3.
Danny Bennett said, "Oh, Aaron Rodgers is back. Does dude look like Aaron Rodgers?
I guess. A little, maybe.
Isn't
I
he
have no
married to
idea.
Olivia Munn?
No idea. I don't.
Married to or dating?
I don't get into the celebrity
Do you remember
gossip.
Olivia Munn?
Yeah, I do.
I know the name, but I don't think I can even picture
Attack
her
of the
in my-
Show?
Attack of the Show. Did you ever watch Attack of the
Show?
Show? It was one of my favorite shows
I
back
don't
in the
think
day.
so.
And,
Nobody except for me and you right now knows what Attack of the Show is.
Oh, there's other
Because
people
we're
out there.
old.
I know
right,
Vic.
Jerry?
Vic used to watch it.
I know Vic did.
That's a great. It was a great show.
It was awesome.
Was that part of like G4?
It was on G4. Yeah.
Yeah, and like Chris Hardwick, was he involved with that at all?
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm remembering the show.
So yeah, apparently she was also in an X-Men movie, by the way.
She was.
Yeah, she was.
Why can't I think of her? I'm gonna have to look her up because I don't know what she even looks like. Olivia Munn.
She was Psylocke in like X-Men the last
Boy, she's really not
X3.
ringing a bell.
Or maybe that was it was in Age of Apocalypse, wasn't
It
it?
was Age of the Apocalypse. And I think, did she carry over to one of the crossovers? I can't remember if she was
not
in
Vic says Attack of the Show on G4 Network was amazing. R.I.P. I agree. I loved that show.
It was a great show. It was
Really?
way ahead of its time.
It was really.
I mean-
Honestly, it was like what a lot of these like hybrid late night shows, variety shows are. It was like that, but like 20 years before that.
Really?
Well, it's what got
Because it was in the 90s, wasn't it?
No,
2000s.
Early 2000s?
Yeah.
How old
Okay.
do you think we are, Jerry?
Older than me. I mean, you started high school in You graduated high school in the 90s, so significantly older than me. I didn't start high school till 2001.
Well, way to cheer me up, buddy. I'm getting another beer.
You asked.
No, but it was pretty much the show. I mean, it was about culture, comic books, sci-fi, gadgets,
games.
Gaming was just really taking off. I mean, PS2 or 3 was out. And
You got to turn that. You got to talk into the end.
I'm
The
sorry.
end of the microphone.
It was set up this way. I don't know.
Like that, yeah. Perfect.
Pointed at your face, your mouth hole.
I'm not doing it.
There you go.
Ooh, That, now that's a sound
now
we
those
all
are
like to
some
hear.
silky, dulcet tones right there.
Anybody else need one?
No.
No, I'm good.
But yeah, and then they also had that other show with Morgan
Freeman.
No. Andy Dufresne.
Yeah. Oh, and
No, it was a little guy, like balding guy that was kind of a spaz, and then that big tall chick.
a little balding guy that's a little bit of a spaz.
It was a gaming one. They
It's a
did
little
gaming
spaz.
reviews. It was on G4.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh man.
Gaming reviews on G4 with a spaz.
What was
That narrows it down. He was bald.
Machinia?
Morgan Webb was her name. X-Play. That was the name of the show.
X-Play.
X-Play. I know
Yeah.
that show. But yeah, I know you're trying to say
What was a Machinia? Machinia.
Machinima.
Yes,
Machinima. That was a thing too. And I think they had a YouTube channel.
they did because I watched it daily. It was
Yeah.
because they were.
These are all the starts of Chris Hardwick and basically starting into Nerdist.
Yeah,
That's
for sure.
where it all started, especially the Machinima thing.
He was on
Big in.
Shipmates, right?
Yeah, he was on Shipmates too, but
And-
he did Attack of the Show.
And the one with Jenny McCarthy.
Yeah, the dating one, right?
Oh,
Singled Out.
Singled Out.
my
Yeah.
God, I
Oh
had-
man, you remember all that stuff.
That was
Those are
MTV.
good shows. Those are really good
then was
shows.
Carmen Electra after her.
Yeah.
God,
It was. Man, if that doesn't scream 90s.
I listened to his story
God, I'm
on his
old.
podcast back. I don't listen to his podcast anymore.
I don't
anymore.
either.
But he tells the story of how he got that
10T.
job at MTV because he was like not a MTV type person.
No, he was like the skinny drunk.
Well, I don't think he was necessarily a drunk back then, but he was just like a
Yet.
preppy, kind of nerdy kid.
Mm-hmm.
But he was like from that area, LA area or whatever.
Yeah.
And he worked at like a country club. And somehow he networked his way into an MTV show.
That's crazy. You know, his dad was a professional bowler.
Yeah, he was.
And-
Billy Hardwick.
Yep, and he went around the country
I think he's in the
traveling.
Hall of Fame.
I think he is too. And he traveled the country with his father while his father just rolled them balls.
He's
Really?
marrying Shailene Woodley. Oh, Aaron Rodgers is marrying Shailene Woodley. Well, he did date Olivia Munn. So.
Oh,
Shailene
we were
Woodley,
close.
like that one girl that's strange.
Yeah, she's like that old lady that plays the Queen in that Crown show.
No, she's not an old lady. She was in the show that was like a ripoff of Hunger Games. There was another set of movies that were like a ripoff of Hunger Games, and they only had like 2 come out, and then they ended up like getting the third
Oh,
one.
Divergent.
Yeah, Divergent.
yeah.
And the third one ended up being like a TV movie, and that
Yeah.
her career kind of went down from there. But she's also in that show.
She's only 29. How old do you think Aaron Rodgers is?
Aaron Rodgers is 35
Oh, okay.
at least.
Oh wow.
He's
don't
got to
know.
be.
He's got to be. in
Yeah,
the
you're
30s.
probably right.
Yeah.
He's probably 35.
But she is in that show. Is it Pretty Little Liars or
Yes,
Little Big
Pretty Little
Liars?
Liars.
The one on HBO.
Big Little Lies.
Big Little
That's
Lies.
it.
Well, that's a huge show.
I know that show on HBO is. I talked about it quite a few episodes ago. I tried to watch
Oh,
it.
nobody was listening.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Yeah.
She's in that show though.
Upcoming
Apparently
movies,
that does well.
The last letter from your lover, and The Fallout. I hope that's a game based on the game or show movie based.
I
on the
doubt
game
it.
Fallout.
We would have
That'd be
heard.
so
We would have
bad.
heard about that
No
How
shit.
come they haven't done that?
because it's post-apocalyptic and they've done a bajillion of them.
And there's also really no like, you're the protagonist in that game, right?
Yeah,
There's
how do you
no,
s-
like?
Well, I mean,
Well,
It seems like they would be.
they could create a character
They
that
could,
you are.
but it would make more sense for them to make Mass Effect.
yes,
That'd be cool.
it would.
So Aaron
They are
Rodgers
doing
is
Uncharted,
He's 37.
37.
so he's old,
So there's an 8-year age
especially
difference.
for football, man.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean,
us old guys. can
Yes,
still,
we know
still
Tom
do it.
Brady, 43, whoop-de-doo.
And Tom
but-
Brady's a lot better than Aaron.
Yeah, you
He's
gotta admit, Tom Brady.
significant.
Tom Brady's an animal.
He is. I think he gets teenager blood.
I've heard that, yeah.
Yeah.
Like injected in him like Tom Cruise.
They change out his blood with the blood of teenagers, and he drinks it, too.
Does he drink it? I figured he would drink it.
Isn't this like a South Park episode with the stem cells?
It absolutely could be, but I think this is real life. I think he really does these things. He has a really strange diet. And have you seen the progression of Tom Brady, like his physical look since he entered the NFL till now? Because he looks younger than he did when he started, and it's ridiculous. He's so much better looking. I don't normally like judge men on how they look, but he is so much better looking than when he started. And I'm sure plastic surgery and money have to do with it.
Don't they say most men get better looking the older they get into like their 40s and 50s?
Do they?
Yeah.
I mean, I have.
People say
that makes sense. There are people that say that.
That's what people. Yes, for sure.
I agree
That's
with
a thing.
that
Like a handful of people have said this, probably.
I mean, I've heard it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I believe you then, because I'm getting, close to that.
What, old or better looking?
Well, to your age. Oh,
Because
I'm on my way there.
Because you're not getting better looking.
Oh man, am I ever? I'm looking good lately. I've been looking real good.
Anyway,
like bacon over there.
I think we can. We got somewhere to go.
I have a spring stretcher that is going to lead me down a path of darkness, Christopher.
Oh no.
This is very entertaining.
It's going to lead all of us down a path of darkness. There's two different things I want to cover here. The first part of the spring stretcher is pretty simple. It has to do with about butter. So I love real butter. I am a real butter household. And what really stretches my springs is that when you get this perfect stick of butter out of the refrigerator, I'm going to put it in my little butter boat, and I open up the paper, and there's butter covering the paper. It's like embedded in the butter. So when you try to open it up, it like rips the paper. And then you got to dig the paper out on the end in order to get it out. That is the worst thing in the world. I sit there and try to get this paper out without ripping it for so long that I end up then getting a butter knife out and digging it out of the ends, because otherwise you're going to get a mouthful of paper at some point.
Right now?
Haven't you ever had that happen?
No, because I use spray
literally
butter.
never had that.
I have that happen every single 4-pack of butter that I get. The ends where they fold the end over, it'll be one of them is covered in butter, and when you try to open it, it rips the paper. And then if you don't do anything about it at that point in time, somebody. Oh, I'm 100% serious.
He is serious.
It pisses me off
Such a
so
odd
bad.
stretch.
It pisses me off so bad. But
Have you ever heard of? I can't believe it's not butter spray.
Oh, here's where we're going with this.
I could just see Jerry trying to unwrap butter and just screaming, "Serenity now, Amy!"
Oh, I get so mad at it. I literally told Amy about this spring stretcher 2 days ago because I was like, I'm bringing this up. This is bull crap. But here's where I'm getting into. What happened in the 90s that brainwashed people into buying margarine and vegetable oil spreads
I will
in
tell
these
you
tubs?
Exactly what you need to know if you're ready to listen.
Oh, I'm ready, because you've got your country crock, your I can't believe it's not butter, Parquet. Then this is where they tried to get fancy with it. Imperial came out with the sticks that look like butter, and you think like you could mistake it as butter in the store and be like, I just bought butter. No, vegetable oil spread.
It's actually happened several times.
Yes,
to us as well.
I think me and you have had this conversation a multitude of times about
why was this a thing? Why did people stay away? Like, it was all because of the food industry, right? Like they tried to tell you.
Okay,
that
so
it was
this
bad.
is what happened, right? And this started happening in the 80s.
The food pyramid.
No, not the food pyramid, although that was maybe a part of it.
Yeah.
What happened in the 80s was they started having this craze where they thought fat was the worst thing in the world.
Right.
The low-fat diet craze started then. And they actually rearranged the food pyramid and all this thing to limit the amount of fat people were having, because they said, hey, I mean, this is probably the amount of research that all these scientists did. They're like, people are getting fat. Stop eating fat.
Yes,
But also,
that's exactly what they
they're
thought.
having issues with influxes of heart disease and coronary artery disease and all kinds of these things, where they thought, oh, well, all this plaque and fat is building up in these arteries. It's because of the American high-fat diet. Mm-hmm. And so they completely changed all these recommendations. Same thing happened, by the way, with cholesterol, until they finally realized 30 years later that there is no link between dietary cholesterol, as in the cholesterol
in
you
your
eat,
blood.
like in an egg, which is a high cholesterol food,
Yeah.
and actual cholesterol in your body. So anyway, we changed this all around, and Americans gobbled it up like crazy. And we did.
Gobbledygook.
When I was a kid, we had low fat everything.
We
there
did
wasn't
too.
nothing we bought in our house that didn't say low fat on it.
Yeah,
Same
and we
here.
had
Everything.
margarine. We were like a margarine household.
That's all we
That's
ever-
all you ever
Because
used.
butter's bad.
I don't
Butter's
think
gonna
I
kill
ever
you.
really had butter until I was older.
Until I was an adult and I was out on my own. That's when I started buying real butter. And you know why? The only reason I started buying real butter is because I started watching cooking shows. And in all these cooking shows, they're like adding butter to things. They're like, you want restaurant quality food, add butter.
Put a lot
and
of
I
it
was
in.
like, that sounds like a good idea. So I went and got real butter. And the only other people that had real butter were my grandparents. They always had real butter, and I tried it there. I was like, man, that's
Why when you're a
very
kid,
good.
when you're a kid, that's why your grandma always had the best food. It was because your grandma cooked with butter
Right.
and lard.
Yes.
And your parents didn't. They cooked with the low fat and
Well,
you know.
Yeah.
My mom still makes pie crust with lard.
Well,
so it tastes better.
a lot of people did still
Baked
bake
goods, yes.
goods with
Just couldn't.
butter or lard, but
But it was like
So-
adding butter to toast or potatoes or whatever you were adding butter to. You had a tub
Yep.
that you scooped out of, and it was junk.
So I remember that very same thing. I remember growing up with Parquet or whatever the margarine was.
Parquet.
And I remember watching a cook's tour with Anthony Bourdain, which was
Oh,
one of
yeah.
his first shows, and that's where I started loving cooking and realizing that butter makes it better. I mean, that's just a fact. And
Butter
butter
is better.
So what happened is, of course, we get flash forward 30 years later, and what do we finally figure out? That processed vegetable oils are not good for you.
Are not good for you at all.
And
Well-
butter's actually good for you.
Yes.
Well,
I
they
mean,
took the
and fat is good for you.
Well, they took the fat out of everything to make it healthy, and turns out it tastes like crap. So what do? They fill it full of sugar.
And then you eat more of it.
And you know what skyrockets? Heart disease.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
And people get fat.
Yes, and people still got fat. So that was my first thing. This is going to go into another one that I
well,
feel
we got
like,
a lot of comments on this.
Okay. Oh, do we?
Danny Bennett said, we used to make butter on the farm. Not that fun. Did you ever make butter on the farm?
Whatever happened to churning butter?
No.
I don't think I did. We made cheese, but I never made any butter.
I never made any butter.
Never made butter, and I grew up on a
I remember going to Rockholm Gardens, which is in Tuscola, Illinois, where a lot of Amish are. It's like in southern Illinois, and it's like Arcola, Tuscola,
We have a
down
plant
south.
there. Yeah.
And we used to Rockholm Gardens was like this whole Amish like tourist attraction basically, and you could go and see how these things were done. And I remember standing there like watching them churn butter for the longest time. My parents like walked around doing things, and I just watched them churn butter. I thought it was very interesting.
And
That's my only like interaction with butter making.
And then Dirk said,
Grady is so your son.
leave the butter on the counter. I agree. And then Courtney said, let the butter soften before you unwrap it. This is exactly what I was going to say at the beginning of this conversation. Why are you trying to unwrap cold butter?
I needed it like immediately. Every time I get
Put it in
a
the
new
microwave
stick-
for 5 seconds.
No, you can't do that. I always melt it.
Well, you got to
The
stand.
center always melts.
You
on
have
me.
to stand there and hit it like 2 seconds, 3 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm not that patient. I have literally zero patience. I will unwrap that thing immediately because I need it right now.
Okay, and then Vic said, while they're talking about butter, everyone go buy Bitcoin and Ethereum and Cardano and Polkadot and Aave.
Oh,
And then a link to Coinbase. Yeah, we're not talking about,
I have some of those.
by the way, not an investment advisor. But I will say I'm a member of the Motley Fool, which is an investment advice thing. I love them, although
They're
they're
pretty good.
always trying to sell you a bunch of extra subscriptions, and it's super obnoxious. But they just put a $10 million investment in crypto
Really?
as
do
a
they?
company. Yeah, interesting.
That's pretty heavy.
And they're pretty, I mean, I won't say they're conservative because they're heavy into like tech stocks, but they're conservative in their investment advice as far as like they want you to buy and hold for at least 5 years, whatever they recommend, which I feel like is a fair, it's not day trading.
Well, yeah. If
All
you're a
right.
true day trader, you're looking to make a couple grand within that day
So-
and move along. So
Dan Bennett, I obviously work with him, and he said, I'm starting to feel like Jerry is a stranger at work. We know nothing about you, mister. Because I don't talk about butter at work, Dan.
that moved my
Like-
head the wrong way, Chris.
That one,
No, you're fine.
All right.
it does bother
And
me.
then
But
Dirk said, never put the butter in the fridge. Just don't put it in the fridge.
I guess that's a good idea. It's just that I buy so much butter. I'm not joking you.
How many
I've got
pounds-
so
how
much
many-
butter at my house.
How many pounds do you go through a week, man?
I mean, I don't measure it in pounds. I don't know how many sticks I go
Well,
through.
apparently you don't use that much if you don't measure it in pounds.
Well, I don't weigh it out. I don't even count how many I'm using. I just buy a lot of butter, and then when I see it go low, I buy a lot more butter.
Does it ever blow your mind when you're making Kraft macaroni and cheese how much butter you put in there?
No,
It
because I
calls
have.
for a stick of butter.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it's
No, a Kraft. I just made it tonight, and
Or
it
is it
does
half
not.
a stick of butter?
It's a quarter.
Yeah.
A quarter stick, which
I think
would be
it's 4 tablespoons, which is a half stick.
no. It's 2 tablespoons.
Look it up, Chris.
Okay, I will.
Challenge accepted.
I don't think it is. It's 2 tablespoons.
It is not 2 tablespoons.
It's not a half
Your
a stick of
kids
butter.
are living a terrible life over there.
Oh no, I
Apparently
use
not.
much more than that. I'm not telling
Because
you.
anything you put a whole stick of butter in, it's gonna taste freaking amazing, man.
That's right.
It's not a whole stick of butter
It's
for
4
one
tablespoons.
for one box. That's a half a stick.
Yeah,
Oh well, then I easily put that in there.
yeah. Anyway,
Moving on to my next
Moving on.
infuriating thing.
you are George Costanza.
Do you
know that?
understand? Do
And
you,
you're just the same height.
do you
just need to lose your
understand?
hair a little
I
bit
know,
more.
but do you understand there are people out there that call Gatorade by its actual like flavor? Isn't that ridiculous?
I don't even know what that means.
Like
Yeah.
fruit
Do
punch.
they have names other than
Oh, yeah.
red or yellow, blue?
Exactly.
Oh.
There's fruit punch. There's Riptide Rush. There's lemon lime. Nobody. There are people that actually call Gatorade this, and I've had this encounter where somebody said like, "Oh, I just had a Riptide Rush the other day," and I was like, "Wait a minute, like, isn't that the light blue color?"
No, I think it's
And he's like,
purple.
Maybe it might be the purple one.
light
but
purple.
Either way, I was like, wait, do you call Gatorade by its name? Do people do that? Because I've only ever said, I'm going to go get a blue Gatorade or a red Gatorade.
Same here, but there's only one that I call by its name,
What?
and that's berry.
There's a berry Gatorade?
There's a berry.
Either way, I think these people are insane. It's got to be some sort of a cult. I don't think they're real. Everybody I've ever known in my life has, no, you call it red, blue,
Oh, yeah.
purple, whatever. Everybody does, don't you?
I don't even. Yeah, I guess.
If you were to
know
go
what?
get a Gatorade.
I never know
So what's Cash called?
what color to get. I don't have like a color preference because I don't drink it often enough. So
I did- you
always
didn't
just-
as a kid?
I always just guess.
Like I was just
Nah,
like,
man, I was a Powerade kid.
oh my
Oh,
god.
here we go.
And then
You probably
okay,
had
now
a pro
we've
line
reached.
jacket too, didn't you?
Now
Not a
we've
starter jacket.
apexed at the weirdos, okay? Because Powerade, just come on.
Powerade's where it's at.
That's I'm pretty sure
Is
made
that
out
still
of.
a thing?
I'm pretty sure it's made out of battery.
Okay,
acid.
I just want to point out because there's a controversy going on our Facebook stream right now between 2 tablespoons, 4 tablespoons. It's 4 tablespoons, folks. I'm looking at the box.
So in other words, Jerry's right with
It's 4
6.
tablespoons.
I thought it was 2. Dirk,
So
Dirk,
if it's 4, that means you should put in 8, which is a whole stick. to
Dirk
make it
said
really
he
good.
thinks I'm his spirit animal. Well, we need to meet each other, Dirk, because if you hate people that call Gatorade by its name as much as I do,
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your
No.
tirade there. No,
Oh,
I never know what color to get. I guess I usually go for. I always initially go for the red, and I always regret that.
it's a terrible choice.
It's the worst one.
You don't get a red. I talk my kids think it's like a treat to get a Gatorade.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and whenever we go to
Father,
Casey's,
yeah.
they're like, "Can we get a Gatorade?" I was like, "All right." And then I say, "This is what I say. What color do you want?"
Same here.
And they say red. I'll be like, "You sure you don't want that light blue?"
You're gonna have stained lips.
I feel like you want that light blue or that light purple. And they're like, "No, we want the red." Like,
So
But do you?
do you? Like, because I don't feel like you do. And then I give them the red, and they don't drink all of it.
We should do a top 10 Gatorade flavors roundup.
Isn't there only like 5?
No, there's the.
Well,
like
my
a-
number one, I'll tell you right. I can tell you what it is right now. It's been discontinued for years, and
don't
I
tell
have
me.
to say
You're
it's,
going to use the name.
You're gonna use citrus cooler.
no. I'm going to use the name because it's black. It was a black Gatorade,
What?
and it was called Midnight Rush. Why wouldn't you say that?
You
name?
talked about that.
I know, I did, and I found it on Amazon. You can still buy or eBay.
I told you to buy it and we drink it on the show.
Oh man, I'll have to look it up and see what it is. I might go for it.
Nolan says cucumber lime all the way. Didn't even know that was a
I
thing.
know what I mean, yeah.
Well, that
Infuriates you?
yeah.
I'll tell you what. When you're hungover on a Sunday morning, go to Casey's, get a Riptide Rush and a breakfast sandwich, and you're right as rain.
Yeah, you are
Out to
good.
the farm
For a Gatorade?
for Gatorade or light purple.
The worst hangover I've ever had in my life was after a wedding that we were all at. Probably it was Raj's wedding back in the day. Single worst hangover I've ever had in my life.
I was walking around smoking a cigar at the reception, so
and
I think inside the reception.
Well,
that's the one we went to the Taco Bell drive-up without a vehicle. We got yelled at.
Yeah.
Well, the next day, I still lived with my parents at the time. It was right before I moved out, but my dad was ripping off the stair. We ripped the stairs off to the front of their house. We were building a deck, and I was supposed to go help him.
Let me finish the story. You walked out of the house and comically just fell onto the ground because the stairs were no longer there.
No, none of that.
What
I was going to tell you is
that's the road you should go down.
Well, I was non-functioning in the morning. My dad was yelling at me a bunch. Well, my brother came over because he was helping too, but he came up and he handed me a blue Gatorade, light blue Gatorade, and he's like, "Here, man." He had like Tylenol. He handed me Tylenol and he gave me a Gatorade. He's like, "Drink all of this." He's like, "It's going to help you." And I was like, whatever. And I was dead to the world. I took the Tylenol. I drank the entire Gatorade. And then within like 30 minutes, I was like, holy smokes, I feel kind of alive now. I mean, it didn't cure me by any means.
It's hilarious.
But it really helped a lot.
That your brother tried to poison you with Tylenol after drinking because you're not supposed to take Tylenol.
Really?
It's bad for your liver.
Yeah, it's like,
well
taking
everything's bad for your
ibuprofen's
liver.
really bad for you too, so I guess it really doesn't.
Ibuprofen is better. I mean, you can.
That's bad for your
stomach.
kidneys.
It's bad for your stomach.
Kidneys.
If you're going to take a painkiller when you're drinking, take ibuprofen.
Yes.
Not Tylenol.
Yeah, Tylenol's really bad. It causes belly bleeds. No, that's Advil. Fuck.
I have no idea about any of this stuff.
I do. Just stick with me, kid.
Yeah, I just ask Amy. I trust Amy's
Amy
opinion.
just commented that you were awful.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I was.
Best hangover
Real
cure
bad.
ever.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to think of where I was going with it. It's
Hair of the dog.
Hair of the dog is one. But
That's the best one, really.
Yes.
I can't do that.
Just start out and
Cannot do that.
Start drinking again.
You
man.
have to force yourself to, because that really does work. And if you don't go overboard the next day with it,
which is the exact thing we did at Raj's wedding.
Yeah, which we usually do. But if you go
But
overboard
remember, that
with
was
the
a
next
long
day
time
drinking,
ago.
you just keep kicking the can down the road and it gets worse eventually. But if you just do a little easy day drinking the next day, you'll be fine.
Or
Really?
go get an IV. That's the second best. If you don't want to do hair of the dog, go get an IV. It's the greatest thing.
I gave myself an IV once before I took a PT test.
Oh.
Yeah, it worked wonders.
It works. I've had them many times when I was working on the ambulance. You walk into the shift in the morning, you go, fix me.
Fix me. So that's all. That's all I wanted to get off my chest. I thought
Your wife said, you're all crazy. You can take Tylenol. Just don't take 3 grams of it. Here's the deal, Amy.
Yeah, come on.
Don't pretend like you know more about medical advice than me. So
It's like only doing one line of cocaine.
everybody knows.
Come on.
Chris knows everything.
yeah, I mean, if you want to take the advice of a nurse
I guess you can.
Amy,
over
quit being a
a
fun
podcast
sponge.
host,
That farms.
that's fine.
And can raise trees.
But I mean, my advice to you is not to take Tylenol when you've been drinking.
Right. There you go. Straight from the
Yep. Amy has spoken.
podcaster's mouth.
Oh man. Okay. You got any other spring stretchers there, Jerry?
Nope, that's all I had. Just
No
those
more
couple
airing
things.
of the grievances?
No, I'm done with that. Serenity now. Serenity now.
We did airing of the grievances once.
that was at Christmas time?
Yeah, it was a Festivus. We had a
Oh,
Festivus
my
party.
God.
You did?
Oh, that did not go well.
It didn't go well.
Oh,
It was
no.
terrible.
Are you
Yeah.
serious?
Several
bad.
people left in tears.
Yeah.
Fighting that we did the feats of strength. Oh, that was a mess. It was bad.
Was this in college?
No,
No, it was here.
he is not joking. Yeah, we were all there.
Wait, how old were you?
I don't know, 28.
Yeah.
Why did this end so badly?
I can't remember if I was married or not.
I don't know. I mean, it was right after I got moved back from college,
Yeah.
so I was probably not 28, but mid 20s.
And it just, you were literally airing grievances that you had with people, so you're
Yes.
just like
I
saying
wasn't. I wasn't the problem for once. I wasn't the problem.
Okay.
It was actually other people that were having problems.
We don't need to go down this path.
There was airing of grievances that happened, and then we had the feats of strength. And
what was wrong with feats of strength?
I don't
I
think
did-
the
people
feats is-
fighting drunk?
Yeah.
Why were you fighting? It's a feat of strength, not
You
fighting.
got a pin.
You got to pin him in the ground, man.
Festivus not over till you pin.
Oh, that's
and
right.
Frank, right?
That's right. I forgot about that. Oh,
Vicodin for the win.
you
Dirk
were
said.
part of that.
Oh yeah.
Dirk says
So-
Vicodin for the win, and I will say I've never done that, but
Yeah, I've
a
done
little
that.
half of a gummy for the win.
That fixes you.
Yeah. That's a good hangover cure right there.
That makes Chris very well happy.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't really do
never
anything,
done
but
it.
it does cure a hangover.
Does it really?
I've never.
I mean, that's
tried
what a
it.
lot of people need a lot of the time.
Cure for hangovers or gummies?
Cure for hangovers. If you can get it, I mean, anybody could get a gummy nowadays in Illinois.
Yeah.
So if your job allows it, go for it. Mine certainly
either.
does not.
Nope.
It does not.
Me neither. Mine either.
Yes,
God,
it does.
Your boss is an ass.
Yeah. Why are you so hard on yourself?
You should really let your wife let you have gummies.
Well,
Oh wait, doesn't it have to do with driver's license?
yeah, I mean, I have a CDL, so
Yeah. So I,
I
don't
would
wanna
never
be-
want to
I don't want to meet you on the road.
put it out into the world on our wildly successful podcast that I would partake in a thing like that.
Right. That's true. Which you have not done so.
No.
You've never
No.
said that. So
Not once.
I said gummy, but I meant like a
bear.
corn syrup. You know,
Goodness.
like a
Why not a gummy
little,
bear?
a little smiley face.
Okay.
Those fruit smiles.
Oh, those are very good.
They're pretty
Fruit
legit.
snacks. Fruit snacks are where it's at, bruh.
Dude, they're so small though. There's
just
so
called
few
him
fruit
dude.
snacks,
I know.
snacks in a package.
Yeah.
Pisses me off because sometimes I'm just like looking at all these fruit snacks in the pantry.
Oh wait, does something make you mad now, Chris?
I'm gonna eat them, and I open one up, and I dump them in my mouth. I'm like,
And nothing happened.
how could you ever be satisfied by like 6 fruit snacks?
Right, you got to have at least 6 packages of fruit
At
snacks.
least I want to like open the whole box and dump them into a big bowl, and, just
And then
eat
I
'em.
feel bad for yelling at my kids when they want more than one package. It's like, no, you're not. You shouldn't have more than one of these, right? Like, as an adult, I should say these things. I
yeah,
should
so
say
you have to
like,
limit your children.
you shouldn't have more than one of these. But you're right. You need more than one of these.
It's not satisfying.
So,
one just pisses you off
Right.
that you can't have more.
You can buy a enormous box of fruit snacks from Sam's Club and Costco. I'm a new Costco member, by the way. There's a new one up on 30.
Yeah, I think I'm going to drop my Sam's Club and just go straight
I
Costco.
would
Wow.
suggest it. This is a spring stretcher. This is the sign up process at Costco is ridiculous. They are so like antiquated in the way they sign people up. You can do it online, but then once you get to the store, you still have to go to the card services center and you stand in a line. So we did that. Stand in this line. They had one computer that was there to take a picture of you, like a DMV basically, for your ID. And I was like, wait a minute. Sam's Club, I had an ID like on my phone that you could get into the store, get all of your stuff, get to the cash register, and then they would scan your phone to do this. Why do I have to have a physical ID through Costco for you to, and I have to stand in front of this mat on the wall and you take a picture of me and you only have one of these computers capable of doing this in this entire
in a
store.
brand new Costco.
Brand new store. You have one computer, and then Amy and I get up to this computer for them to take our picture. The lady types in our information. She's like, "Oh, I see that you've done this online. Oh, very nice. Okay, great. And would you like the higher membership?" "No, I don't want the higher membership." "Well, do you know what you get for that higher membership?" "I don't care. I don't want the higher one." And then she's like, "Okay, all we need to do is take your picture." And she turns around, and the guys.
Wait a minute. What higher membership is there?
There's 2 memberships.
You're either a member or you're not a member.
No, they got 2 different memberships. I'm not
What, do you
getting
get
into it.
more discounts?
They give you money. You get like money back on your purchases. And the lady tried to sell you
seems
as
dumb.
like,
Yeah.
"Oh, listen, you get 2% back on your purchases." And then she's like, most people get then you get a check from Costco. And they said most people will take this check and then put it towards their membership in order to pay for the membership the next year. And I was like, wait, if you get 2% back to pay for a $120 membership at that level, you'd have to spend like $5,000, like, or more than that. Like,
Yeah, but if you go there a lot, it's not hard to spend $5,000 if you're going to get your groceries there and stuff.
Yeah. If you're
nobody's getting regular groceries there. It's
I don't know,
not
they got,
possible. You buy the bulk things.
But they got meat, right?
They do have meat, but if you buy bulk things there, you really aren't going to go there as a every week grocery shopper. I don't feel like.
I think if you lived close enough, you could find yourself going there a couple times a month and spending a couple $100 each time.
You think so?
Well,
It's not hard to spend $200 at Costco.
So
$200, right? But $200 each time you go means you're going to have to go. Let's see, 25 weeks of the year.
That's only half.
it's every other weekend.
That's not that much because
I don't think
they
you're
got,
going to go.
if they got pharmaceuticals.
I'm not going to Costco that much.
They got
I'm
clothing.
not.
They got all kinds of stuff. Yes, because you got to drive a ways to get there.
Not even that. It's like I don't need the bulk items that they have. I don't need to get them the way they have it out.
Well,
like every time I go there, I'll
regardless.
get the majority of stuff I need. I'll spend like $300 or $400, and then I'll go home, and I don't need to go there again for 6 months.
Here's the point. If you have Amazon and get an Amazon credit card, or Walmart and get a Walmart credit card, you get 5% off everything you buy
Right.
at
and
either Amazon or Walmart.
That makes much more sense.
There
But
you
anyway,
go.
so
That's what I would
agree.
do.
So
I
we
agree.
get up to the computer, and they are going to take a picture of us. She's like, okay, all we need to do is take a picture. And then she turns around, and the guy starts ripping this printer thing apart that prints your ID. He's like, I got to clean this machine. And I was like, oh, okay, we'll just go to the next one. There is no next one.
Your
She's
whole
like-
experience has sold me on going to Costco.
Well,
I'm just saying.
No, that's what I mean is like their membership deal is like so outdated. I don't understand why they're just get an app. Make an app. You're a bajillion-dollar company. Get an app and let me have the ID on my phone, and then it would be so much simpler.
You know what I do find
I
interesting?
got really angry that
about
day.
both Costco and Sam's is the gift card section, right? So you can get gift cards to places, and it'll be like pay $80 for a $100 gift card. So they have
didn't know
that
this.
for Disney, and if you're going to go to Disney and buy tickets and stuff, you can buy $100 or $200 gift cards for like 20% off,
Really?
and then just use them to buy your tickets. They do that at Target too.
That seems like a good deal.
But you can do it for all kinds of places. Like if you go to Buffalo Wild Wings a lot, you can just go there and buy like $300 worth of gift cards and get 20% off of them, and then just keep them in your wallet. And if you go to Buffalo Wild Wings, just
It
use
seems
those.
like a good idea to do for like holiday gifts. You know, like for an in-law. Like you,
Somebody you don't like.
somebody that's not worthy of actual thought.
no, absolutely.
Just get 'em a
You
gift
have
card.
people that you buy gifts for that you're just like, well, we need to get them something.
The
so.
only people I give gift cards to are like work people.
I love gift cards. People, you don't like gift cards?
So I guess that's why we got gift cards from Christmas. I mean,
You don't like gift
you?
cards for things?
me and you got gifts for each other. He got us gift cards.
I got a gift card to Topgolf. I thought that was a good gift. I was like,
I like
that's a good
Topgolf. You ever
idea.
been?
Don't go to the.
I have never been there. I got to the door and we didn't have a reservation and they were booked. And it's like, you're going to have to wait for an hour and a half. We're like,
Go to the one in Naperville.
Yes.
We went to the one in Arlington Heights once. It's terrible.
Yeah,
no,
well,
that's the one we
it's-
went
it's
to was
a-
Naperville. And then we went to dinner that night.
It's a lot of fun.
Okay, I got a couple of comments. Dirk says a cc of thyroxine and or ACE cattle medication under the tongue will take care of the hangover. It's a hardcore way of doing it. but-
I like
that's
it.
a serious fix.
and then he said, "I'm new to watching. Is the airing of agreements as a monthly theme?
Yeah.
I'm a fan." Yes.
Sean Armstrong says, I'd rather get a gift card. Exactly. I would too. I'd much rather get a gift card.
Yes, the airing of the grievances is not necessarily a monthly thing, but we should make it a monthly thing. We just, whenever they come up, we air them.
Isn't that the
We do.
stretching of the springs?
That's what we call it.
We call it stretches my springs.
You know what really stretches my springs? Because that's not copyrighted or used by anybody else but Snarf Talk.
Let's Snarf Talk. Yeah.
We
'Cause we
created
can't
it.
say grind my gears.
Right. And that's the one that we started it off with. That was many, many moons ago.
Yeah.
Spring stretchers have been around for quite a while.
Yeah.
It's just that Chris never has them, even though he's the angriest person on the show.
I'm not angry. That's why I don't have them.
Outside of the show, very angry. Just
I'm
mean.
not touching this one.
He's just
I-
so mad and angry all the
yeah.
time.
Sometimes
Really-
I just punch the sky.
But he gets, yeah. He's just sitting there.
I'm just standing out in the middle of the field just punching at the sky.
that I can see.
Yeah, because of how hot it is. In the summertime, you're going to find Chris mad. Just, why isn't the air conditioning on high enough in this building?
And you're like, Jerry's like, Chris, you're outside.
Why is this combine stopped in the middle of the field? It's not full.
Chris is just hot.
So why is there a pickup light still pointing at the combine that hasn't moved in 6 hours? Should I call Chris to see if he's okay?
No, he's fine. He's
I'm
just
gonna leave
mad.
him alone.
He's just angry
in
and
the
mad.
sky.
Punch in the sky out there. Okay, I do have a little bit of news. This one I think you're going to enjoy a lot. Chris isn't the biggest fan. I am. But the new Mortal Kombat movie has a trailer that just released. It comes out April 16th.
Why do you say that I'm not a fan?
Because every time I've ever brought up Mortal Kombat, you've always done this. Meh. Every time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a fan.
That's why.
I like the game.
I just said you're not the biggest fan. Like, I thought you liked Mortal Kombat
I do
a
like
lot.
Mortal Kombat, but it's not something I'm going to.
I'm a
You
big
need to
fan.
watch. You need to watch the trailer because this trailer I think is phenomenal. It reminds me of the game. There's a lot of blood involved, but the Sub-Zero, the Scorpion, all of them look awesome.
Dirk said I'm a sky puncher too. I
believe
solidarity.
I believe it.
I love you, bro.
I feel that.
love
Me and
you.
Dirk talk usually when we're in the tractor in the spring and the fall, and it's usually just us bitching at each other about how shitty it is to be farming sometimes when everything's breaking down and whatever. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
suggestion: get the capabilities to open up the phone lines. Listen, you're
We-
talking to us live right now.
Right, but we could get the capability to do that pretty easily with a Rode Procaster.
We absolutely could. Somebody give us money so we
Yeah.
can buy a Rode Procaster.
Right. That would be ideal.
Is
Mortal
this a good
Kombat,
time
though.
to talk about Patreon?
Oh, yeah. Patreon.com/snarfcomics is where you can go to subscribe for extra content
And
for
then-
as little as $1 a month. And proceeds go to support the show and help us improve our technology and
Which would be a Rode Procaster,
Procaster.
right? That's what it's called. And then, yeah, we would have the availability to plug in a phone and take phone calls live and mix it straight in. You'd be able to hear it.
Only problem is there's like a 30-second delay.
It can't be that much.
How much is the
30
the
seconds
delay
is
on-
a long time.
Yeah, it's like, wow.
It's significant, though.
A 30-second delay on like what? Like on their speech to us?
Yeah, the live video right now is like 30 seconds behind us.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be. It would be direct into our audio.
No, this phone call wouldn't. But when they hear a topic they want to call in about, we're already past it.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yes.
All right, let's talk more about Mortal Kombat.
I thought,
How Johnny Cage is the best.
that, you know what? There was no Johnny Cage in there.
Yeah, Johnny Cage. He was my favorite.
I didn't see a Johnny Cage in the trailer.
Johnny Cage? Really?
Yeah.
Really?
You don't like Johnny Cage?
Oh, I didn't.
He was like the
dislike him, I
Hollywood
just-
guy.
He's the Hollywood
well,
guy.
Sunglasses, whip him off.
I didn't see a Johnny Cage in the trailer
I
at
mean,
all.
I've never heard anybody actually like Johnny Cage because he was a,
He was like the protagonist of the movies.
In the first movie.
In the first movie.
He was
in.
involved with it.
Well, I meant the game. We talk about the game or the movies.
Well, we're talking about
Both.
either because I liked him in the game as well. Who was your favorite in the game?
Scorpion. Of course.
Scorpion.
I was a
Actually,
big Scorpion fan, but I
see,
was a Cyrax
I liked
fan.
Sub-Zero. I liked
Cyrax, the guy with
Cyrax.
the things that come out of his.
No, he's
Which
talking
one?
about Mortal Kombat 3. He was the cyborg.
He's a cyborg. There's Cyrax, and there was
Smoke.
Smoke,
Smoke was
and
the
there was
gray
another
ninja.
one, a red guy.
Yeah.
Cyrax was the yellow. Smoke, and then there was a red one, and I
He had fire powers, didn't
no,
he?
he had like his chest would open up and shoot
Little missiles.
missiles out of his
Or
chest,
bombs.
and I can't remember his name.
Neither can I.
Sean would remember, but I can't remember.
Nolan
God.
said when Aaron Neville called in, there was no delay. Just saying. Hey, I mean,
The call-ins don't have
the
delay,
call-ins don't have the delay.
Yeah,
It's just
you're-
what you see.
and the info from Facebook is the delay. That's what I was confused about too. I thought you meant the phone call. So
I also liked Liu Kang when
Yeah.
he did his bicycle kick and he's like,
the new movie. That's what I was
I
going to get
forgot about
into.
Liu
The new
Kang.
movie's about Liu Kang.
okay.
So it's the
Well,
basis
yeah,
of Liu
Yeah,
Kang.
so was the first movie, if I remember right.
Yeah, he's
It
like
was.
the main dude in
Yeah,
Mortal Kombat.
it's about Liu Kang. There wasn't much about any Johnny Cage. There was Sonya. There was.
What about Shiva? Wasn't it Shiva?
No, Shiva was in 2 or 3.
But Goro's in it.
That's the guy with the 3 arms or 2 arms.
4 arms.
Yeah.
What was
Monkey guy.
Lord Raiden, the lightning guy?
Raiden.
Raiden.
Yeah, I loved Raiden.
The same guy that played Highlander was
Yep.
Raiden in
Yes.
the movies, and I
Yes.
loved that.
That could be only one.
I'm assuming Raiden will be in this movie, but it didn't show it in the trailer. But I'm telling you, this trailer blew me away. It's heavy on Sub-Zero, and Sub-Zero looks freaking
Who's
awesome.
putting it out? Who's producing it?
Don't know. Didn't get that far. I just thought it looked really cool. And I knew they were coming out with a movie, and I kind of forgot about it because they talked about it over a year ago, and then this last year, nothing was produced. But apparently they did this movie.
I did love the little meme David sent us that was a picture of the weather map in like this last Arctic, whatever they call it.
Polar vortex.
Polar vortex. The weather map, and it just has like the victory thing with Sub-Zero in front of it, and it just says Sub-Zero wins.
I tell you what, Mother Nature's been a bit of a knucklehead.
I mean,
lately.
I love it. I'm loving it. I love this much snow. It's great. It's fun.
I don't care about the snow. It's the cold that
Yeah.
really.
It was 35 today, this afternoon.
No,
was pretty
it
nice.
got up to 22.
Yeah.
Nah, it was melting.
No.
National Weather Service
Yeah, you're
reporting
really
station.
wrong, Chris.
Yeah, but
22.
on the river.
is always warmer than inland.
My truck
So hold on
said
here.
35.
When did you start
truck
liking
sat in the
cold
sun.
weather? Because I've been on multiple vacations with you in warm weather, and
What are you talking? What's this guy talking about?
Oh, you hate warm weather.
I hate warm weather. I love cold weather. I always have. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'll go
I don't
to
even
warm
know you right
places
now.
because my wife wants me to.
My aggravation is just at work. It's just it turns out water and cold weather don't work well together.
No.
Things freeze, and it's a bit of a bear to handle when it's that cold. Like the temperatures today were actually awesome, and it does actually melt things on concrete, like concrete walls.
Concrete will warm up in
If
the
the sun is beating on the concrete wall, it'll melt ice and anything on it, even though it's below freezing. But when you get cloudy, like single-digit days,
nothing happens. It's just
water likes to freeze.
Yeah.
cooling
It's a-
tower drift is awesome too.
It's a bit of a beach, if you know what I'm saying.
You got some more news?
So, you know how there was talk about a Star Wars trilogy headed up and written by Rian Johnson?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Apparently, it's still a thing. There was a journalist,
really?
Soraya Wilson, just recently had an interview with Rian Johnson and talked to him about it, and he confirmed that it is still a thing, but they just don't know when it will
Anything
be
when
made.
about it.
He said it absolutely is going to get made, but they were waiting for 2024. There's supposed to be a movie out by Taika Waititi in the Star Wars world,
That's
which will
what
be
I'm talking about.
awesome.
Yeah. So it's
I'm
like-
positive
Waititi.
that guy will do the right thing. And then his trilogy was going to be out after that. So right now it's kind of like held off, but according to Rian Johnson, it's still a thing going to happen.
Well, that's what happens when you get retconned into all of a sudden now it's the best of the new Star Wars movies.
No, it isn't.
Because- well, listen, though.
To you,
No,
not to the world.
I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. At first, everybody hated that movie. It was widely panned. All right.
It still is.
No, it is not.
Yes,
if
it
you look
is.
back
One
now, The Last Jedi.
Look at anybody reviewing anything about Star Wars, and it is still.
You're absolutely
widely
wrong.
panned.
The majority of critics will say that The Last Jedi was the best of the series of the new three.
I'm gonna stab you with the pen.
No, I'm
I
not
swear
saying.
to God.
I'm not saying that that's my opinion. I'm
It
saying
is your opinion.
That
though.
has been.
You have said that. It's recorded.
no.
Jerry.
That's not true.
Get him under control.
It is. Yes, it is.
I think I have The Force Awakens above it.
I think he does.
Either way, you liked it better than most of the Star Wars movies. You said Empire Strikes Back is the worst movie,
Stop talking.
and Rian Johnson is.
You guys can go back and listen for yourself. We ranked all the Star Wars.
I know,
movies.
and I'm positive you put Rian Johnson's
I
movie
almost bit that hook you're throwing
higher
out there.
than the rest of the two.
Whatever.
I know you did.
I don't even care because the new three are it's terrible. I hate them all. How about that?
All right, now.
Yeah, well,
okay, now you pulled me back in, Chris. Now you got.
Way to save that conversation there, Chris.
All right. What else you got?
And
Kathleen Kennedy.
Boo.
So she has a video that just came out.
Speaking of bad Star Wars movies,
Oh, tell me about
she
it.
made some good ones too, though.
But she
she
just
didn't make shit.
she came out with a video on or the Oscars channel.
in there.
So on YouTube, the Oscars has their own channel, and Kathleen Kennedy.
God. Does anybody even watch the Oscars?
I don't know, but the Oscars has their own channel on YouTube, and they put out a video with Kathleen Kennedy, and she came out and she was talking about Disney, and she was talking about Lucasfilm, and she was talking about how she is so about inclusion and women's rights in film and all of this stuff. And it was literally like the day or two after Gina Carano got fired.
For no reason.
And this video got slammed by the internet and it is one of the best things to see. Like, all of the comments that came in there were slamming Kathleen Kennedy, but it had 9 million views and 59 likes. And so it had 59 likes and it had 280,000 dislikes before they ended up taking the video down. And they obviously, like I said, they took the video down. It's not there anymore. You can't even watch it.
Yeah.
But it was up for a time, and it's been slammed so hard. So now people are going to Disney Plus's Twitter page, and they're going to Lucasfilm's Twitter page, and they're going to different places and just slamming them about this Gina Carano stuff. And it is becoming a huge backlash because they also put out a press release right after it happened. 2 days after it happened that they fired him, they put out a press release for 6 hours that said they were going to recast Cara Dune. And then they pulled it back and they put out a new press release a day later that said, we are not recasting Cara Dune.
Why would you recast a side character?
They are doing things that are not good. And I really don't like the trend of what like Lucasfilm and Disney are doing right now, because it's not going to help the franchise, and I really believe it's going to dictate what they do with these shows. And it's going to change story. It's going to change the way they go. And
it already has. They were supposed to have a whole show based around her,
and they nixed the whole show.
It.
Yeah.
So they've made a decision based on cancel culture bullshit that isn't even for a good reason.
And that's what's dictating our Star Wars shows. They came out on Investors Day and told us all of these new shows and new movies and everything they're going to come out with, and everybody got real excited. But if they are this like manipulative, like of what their shows are, or they can be manipulated by the crowd that much on what people say in their personal lives, on their personal accounts, on what they do on at their own time. Man, I don't know.
It would be one thing if she actually said something.
I know.
But she didn't.
She didn't say much. It just how they've reacted to it is my problem. And how they've tried to be counter-reactive to what they did. So they reacted to the thing. They fired her. They never told her she was fired. No. She found out she was fired through social media and then contacted them. And then they said, "Oh yeah, we're letting you go, by the way." And then they also sent her, Lucasfilm sent her an apology that she was supposed to read. And obviously she did not read that. But she was like, "No, I'm not reading this apology. Like, why would you even send this to me? You've already told me I'm fired."
No, that apology they sent her was in the fall.
In November, yes. That's right, before she was fired. But Lucasfilm still sent her the apology, and she's like, "No, I'm not doing that." And it all stems from that one moment.
Well, so let's back up to Kathleen Kennedy. First of all, she's a hypocrite, flat out.
Clearly.
She sent Carrie Fisher. Whatever the story goes, if you can find the Carrie Fisher interview about her, if you can find it, they have buried it. She talked about how Kathleen Kennedy let George Lucas send her to fat camp for Return of the Jedi so she could squeeze into the infamous gold bikini.
I mean, but. So right, let's not get into that.
Yeah. So I mean, then she has the audacity to come out and say, "I'm for women's rights." When for a long period of time you didn't give two shits until it was popular. That's my 2 cents. I mean, if she would have been there from day one,
I think it's probably pretty safe to say that a woman that has been that high in the industry for that long, at a time when women weren't having any power in that industry. It's not fair to say she doesn't give a shit about it. I'm sure she gives a shit about it.
I'm sure she does. I'm just talking about the timeline. So the timeline of this and the timing of when the video came out couldn't have been worse. She could have filmed this 3 months ago. You don't know. They could have had this plan to come out at that day, in that time, forever ago. But the fact is, like, the one female star that they had right now in the original Disney Plus show got fired, and then they come out with a video of Kathleen Kennedy talking about inclusion and the right to do what you want to do, and women in film and all this stuff.
And not only that, a female...
And that is a
female on the show, but also one that isn't traditional looking.
The norm.
Not a stick figure, is that what you want to say?
Yeah. Somebody that's bigger and strong and...
Yes.
Who could beat your ass?
Yeah, somebody that can beat your ass.
Wasn't she in the Olympics?
No, she was a wrestler.
MMA. She was a badass, man.
I knew she was in something. I didn't know she was in MMA.
She was a badass.
Like, did she fight in UFC and stuff?
Yeah.
I wasn't aware.
CJ Parker, by the way.
Don't
watching.
even.
He said Empire was the worst. And I think that's my favorite comment because
Well,
I'm
CJ,
trying to decide if CJ even has watched any of them.
CJ, I love you. We all love you. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Just stop. Just
I think
listen
he's
to your
just
wife.
trying to get a rise out
He
of
is.
us.
I love him. I miss CJ.
I have one last bit of news, and it's going to tie us right into our top 10 Adam Sandler movies.
Oh, I got one piece of news. You want me to go first?
Yeah,
Since
you
you're
should go
talking?
first. Yes.
And we got to move pretty quick. But
I better go pee then.
Superman 78 and Batman 89 movies are getting comic book continuations.
Ooh.
Wow.
So I'm pretty excited about that.
Looks like I'm buying new comic
Superman
books.
78 and Batman 89 will live out on the pages of a new DC comic line that will continue the original stories before the sequels.
Really?
Wow.
Before the sequels. Okay.
So it'll take right after
In
89's
between.
Batman and the original Superman, the Richard Donner Superman.
Yeah.
That's
That's
I'm in.
awesome.
That's exciting.
yeah.
I'm all for
I
that.
wonder if
would-
Batman will kill people in the comic book series.
He's going to have
He
to.
only killed people in Batman Returns. He did not kill people in the original Batman.
Didn't he blow up a building full of people?
He built a chemical factory, but I think he had already pretty much
The chemical factory full
Well, they
of
were all
people.
knocked out when he
They
left.
don't. It doesn't count. If you work at a chemical plant, it doesn't count.
You're
You can
basically
blow
already
up and
dead.
die. Yes.
Well, thanks, guys. Well,
oh, do you work at a chemical factory?
yeah, I do.
Well, if you're knocked out, it doesn't count. You can just already
Yeah.
die.
Thanks, Jerry.
You said that.
I know.
All right. So
Oh, that really interests me.
My last little tidbit of news is that Adam Sandler went on TikTok and ended up posting his own TikTok of him doing the Happy Gilmore swing.
I actually watched
I
it.
saw that.
Yeah, he said, it's been 25 years since I've done the Happy Gilmore swing. He's like, I'm going to try it again. And he does it flawlessly. Did really well. Well, then the day later, Shooter McGavin came out and posted his own TikTok. And he's like, oh, been 25 years since you did that swing, huh? He's like, well, every day since, or what did he say? He's like, well, every day for 25 years, I've been eating pieces of shit like you for breakfast. And then he went behind the camera and putted a ball into a little glass cup. But I thought it was really cool
You
to
eat
see.
pieces of shit for breakfast?
It's like, well, yeah, no.
Oh,
I thought it was pretty funny. And the guy who plays Shooter McGavin, I don't remember his name, but he's had some history with alcoholism.
Really?
And I'm pretty positive during that video he had some history with alcoholism because he looked a little glossy-eyed. Oh,
Dude.
see you, dude.
Bye, dude.
We're not filming a live show or anything. There he goes.
No, I forgot about that line in that movie.
Oh, you
just
did?
Said it, yeah.
Yeah, it was hilarious because I saw the Adam Sandler one of him doing the shot, and he says after he hits the ball, he looks at the camera and he says, "Oh, that was crushed." He's like, "I'm not joking, I crushed that." And then he gets up and he says, "Oh yeah, take that, Shooter," and then he ends the video.
I read something once that like Adam Sandler, I think he had said he plays golf like every day.
I'm sure he does.
Would
He
you-
is so rich.
Oh, I know.
He is so
That reminds me of this YouTube video I
rich.
watched, and it was a clip of the Conan show, and it had Harrison Ford on it,
Mm-hmm.
and they were talking about like, did he have any props from Indiana Jones that he kept, and any of his whips or anything like that? And he's like, no. And Harrison Ford's
Mm-hmm. What?
just very much like he don't give a shit about Star Wars. He don't give a shit about
No, he
Indiana
doesn't.
Jones. And he's like, no. And he looks at Conan, he's like, I'm a really rich man. Why do I want all that crap winging around?
That's a pretty good answer.
It was. I'm not doing it justice.
I don't-
He killed that line.
So I don't remember if I talked about it on the show or not, but I know I just talked about this to people. And Adam Sandler was on the Dan Patrick show. Dan Patrick was on ESPN and SportsCenter and stuff, but he has his own podcast and live show. And he was interviewing Adam Sandler, and he comes on and he was talking about his attire and what he was wearing. And he was saying, like, you always are wearing, like, like cut-off shorts.
Like scruffy clothing,
yeah, like baggy, like sweatpants shorts and like a hoodie or something like that. And they started talking about it because his shirt had a grease. He spilt something on himself, and he had like this grease spot on his shirt. And they were talking about that. He's like, yeah, that happened right before I left. He's like, I wasn't going to change or anything. And they said, well, why didn't you just get it like a new pair, like new shirt or something, and like throw that one in the laundry? And they started talking about doing laundry, and Adam was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, we, I could have put it in the laundry. And Dan Patrick said, when was the last time you ever did laundry or saw the laundry process? And Adam Sandler says, he's like, oh, yeah, well, I've went down and I've watched the people that do that. and he wasn't like being like mean or, like above anyone. He was like laughing about it. And he said, I've watched the people that do that. And he said, I've seen the clothes spin around, in the machines. He said, but I mean, I'm not going to do laundry. He's like, I just expect my clothes cleaned. And that statement from him was like, that is some money.
Yeah.
And I know you could be much less fortunate than him, have a lot less money than him, and have people clean your clothes. Really? I mean, you could pay people. I could probably pay somebody to clean my clothes right now. But it's like the way he said it was to a point like, wow. He hasn't done his
Can you
any
imagine
laundry.
how much money he's worth? I mean,
Hundreds
his production,
Hundreds of millions.
Yeah, he's got to be tipping like $1 billion net worth.
You think he's close to that?
With his production company,
Yeah.
they produce them. I
Happy
think they
Madison.
fund the I think his last deal with Netflix was like for $500 million. Yeah. Now, of course, they got to use some of that money to produce the movies.
Sure.
But they ain't spending $100,000 on those movies.
Oh no, I am no.
We'll
It's
get to that here in a second.
15 million.
All right. Well, let's do that. Let's get into our
Top 10
10
Adam Sandler movies.
Adam Sandler movies.
Now
Here
this
we go.
isn't like comedy movies or serious movies. It's
Yep.
just all of his movies, right?
Thank you for clarifying that.
Okay.
all of
I'm
his
just saying.
movies. And my only thing is he had to be like a main character.
Main character. Yep.
He can't be a side character. If you can do whatever you want. If he's in the movie, I guess it's fair game. I'm just saying for me, he's got to be a main character.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So we're going to get it started.
Go for it. You're always the first one.
Number 10. Where is he going now?
He's getting me a drink.
Oh, okay. Number 10. You know what? I'm just going to wait for Dude to get back.
I'm here. I can hear you.
All right. My number 10 is a Judd Apatow movie, Funny People.
Funny
2009.
People.
That was it's
all
my number
right.
10, Jerry. It's not my number 1.
I know.
Right? It's I enjoyed it.
A lot of people did. I don't know why. I'm going to let you talk after this, but I just wanted to say
But you need to be first. Yeah.
I don't know why, but this movie never did it for me. I wanted to love it so much. I thought it was going to be like one of the greatest movies ever made when it was put out, and I saw trailers for it and stuff. And then I watched it, and it just really fell flat on my eyes. But anyway, go ahead.
No, I feel the same way. That's why it's number 10 for me. High expectations. Very,
Yeah.
very, very, very high expectations. I was a huge fan and am a huge fan of. Are you laughing at Vic's comment?
I am. I'm sorry.
Can I come back as the butter talked on? Listen,
What was wrong with the butter?
I thought it was entertaining. So
I did too, because it's very aggravating.
no, I think that movie suffered from the problem of high expectations.
Yes.
I'm a gigantic fan of Judd Apatow in general. His comedy, his interviews, his movies, everything that Judd Apatow does, I absolutely love. I'm a huge fan of Seth Rogen. I love Leslie Mann, who is Judd Apatow's wife. And I like Adam Sandler. It had all the recipes. And I actually really, really enjoyed the movie. Mm-hmm. It's just not what you expect it to be. It's not all that funny.
No.
It really isn't.
But that's fine. So I don't know. I know it was a divisive movie, but I enjoyed it. That's why it's number 10.
Yeah, it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Go
Dude?
for it.
Whoa.
Whoa, what happened?
Did you lose your feed?
I hope not.
We good?
We're still live on Facebook. So
I'm still
all right.
recording.
Bulletproof.
is
Wow.
With
Damon Wayans?
Damon Wayans, way back in the day.
Yeah.
I just remember it being awesome, and I remember the one thing that stuck in my mind is Roller Coaster Love by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Is like a huge part of that movie.
Yeah.
Just that, and I just
I honestly, I'm going to tell you, I don't really remember the movie. I remember it being like a buddy cop movie.
Yes.
It was like a Lethal Weapon ripoff, basically, but comedy.
Yes.
Or I guess Lethal Weapon's a comedy.
It was comedy. I mean,
but there was lots of action in it too.
Yes. I don't remember that much about being action, but I remember that Damon Wayans was probably at the height of his career.
I'm a huge fan of Damon Wayans.
Yeah. Oh,
I
he's
think
very
he's
good.
Phenomenal.
Where
Joe
did
Rogan,
he go?
Joe Rogan always talks about having to follow Damon Wayans in the 90s when he was a stand-up comedian. Mm-hmm. He's like, impossible.
Really?
Impossible.
I can understand that for Joe
the
Rogan.
absolute funniest stand-up comedian of the time.
I would love to watch a
He really was at the
some
top of his
kinda-
game.
Yeah. Was he the... Because he was in a lot of other movies, obviously. We always talk about how we like Major Payne.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I love the movie Blank Man.
Blank Man, that's one that I
Yeah.
forget about.
I love that movie.
That's
seen
such
that
a good
in so
movie.
long, man.
Anyway, yeah. Anything else on that?
No, it's one of my favorites.
There you go. Number 10 to Gerald.
My number 10 is right up my alley, especially in my childhood in the 90s and even now. Like, I love rock music. And there was a movie called Airheads.
Oh, yeah.
In 1994.
Well,
And every 15 minutes on Comedy Central since.
Yeah. Really? I haven't seen Comedy
I mean-
Central in a long time, but it was out there.
I haven't
for-
watched it in 10 years, but they used to play that movie like round the clock on Comedy Central.
They did. So if you haven't ever seen Airheads, it's about like these three guys in a band, or they create their own band, right? And they're going to play like a mixtape at a DJ or at a radio station. And the head DJ there doesn't allow them to play their music. So they end up holding the radio station hostage, but with plastic guns. They
squirt
don't
guns.
Yeah, they don't have real guns. They've got squirt guns in their pockets, and they end up holding it hostage. It's funny. I love it. It's got music involved. Adam Sandler's the drummer. Brendan Fraser is
Yep.
the lead singer and guitarist, and Steve Buscemi.
Damn, that's who I was gonna look up. I couldn't remember.
It's a great cast. It's a great movie,
And
honestly.
it is great, and I had to put it in there. I watched it so many times. It's like a nostalgic pull for
I
me.
think it's a
All of
nostalgic
it's a
play. I
nostalgic
don't know
pull,
what it
but-
would be like to go watch it again. Like, I don't remember how good of a movie it actually is, but I do like it for its nostalgia.
I think Adam Sandler says 3 words the entire movie.
Really?
But he is.
No, I mean he talks more than that, but
Yeah.
he's kind of like the dumb guy because
Yeah.
he's just the drummer.
He's a
and
comic
doesn't-
relief. You know?
Yeah,
He's the pool.
Brendan
guy.
Fraser's the lead, but it's considered an Adam Sandler movie. So I loved it.
I love
and it's my number
Brendan
10.
Fraser, probably height of his career.
Wasn't
I
far
think it was
behind
after that. The Mummy was the height of his career.
Okay.
Yes, it wasn't far after.
2
that.
years
I
after
remember
that
That's one of Chris's favorite movies too. Is Airheads.
Oh, it's a great movie. All right, my number 9 is a little more serious. It's a movie I've always liked.
God, you always gotta be serious.
2004, James L. Brooks movie, the guy who makes The Simpsons, right? It's Spanglish.
Ooh.
I always liked that
forgot
movie.
about
You don't
Spanglish.
like that movie?
I have only seen it one time, and no, I didn't. At the time that I saw, I need to watch it again. This is my fault as an adult now that I haven't went back and watched some of these movies. But at the time that came out in 2004, that was my junior year of high school, and it wasn't something I was like really mad at Adam Sandler for making a movie that was serious.
Oh, really?
I was at the time because I was childish and not an adult and dumb.
Well, I think the movie is not as good as it could be, but Adam Sandler in the movie is phenomenal.
And I remember the hype
yeah.
about
And
it.
he's like, it's a really, really good serious role, and the movie kind of falls flat a little bit. But I really like Téa Leoni. She plays his wife in it. He's like a celebrity chef. They're like a wealthy, up and coming celebrity chef, you know, and his wife is very
I can't
insecure.
speak Spanish, so
Did you not have Senor Torbeck and
Spanglish.
in
oh,
grade
is it like
school?
Spanish and English
Yeah,
together, right?
That's the idea. So there's this family, this Mexican family, and they come and they become close and everything, and his wife's very insecure about that, and it's a whole movie about whatever. The movie is what it is, but his role in it, very good. The acting's very good, and I always really liked that movie.
yeah.
That's my number 9.
Airheads is my number 9.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is. I love it. Just pretty much everything you said. I remember seeing it. It came out in '93, I think, maybe '94.
94. Yep.
Yeah, and I remember.
It's a very Wayne's World-ish
Yes.
time frame,
Which
Wayne's
I
World-ish
freaking
movie.
love Wayne's
which my-
World.
So I was a freshman.
I knew Dirk was going to say that. He said, I knew Spanglish would be on his list. I remember watching it in the house with him at the house. Yeah, that would have been right when I was in college. And when it came out, and I considered myself to be a film snob.
You were a film
because he
snob.
took a film course.
Because he took one film course and he
at
thought,
the University of
I'm the
Illinois.
next Roger Ebert.
I wish. Roger Ebert's like my hero.
I wish you were too.
I have like all of his books. There's a movie about him. I own it.
I want to be
I love that
Siskel.
guy. Siskel was the worst.
Come on.
Nobody wants to
Really?
be Siskel.
Siskel and Ebert, man. Well,
it's
no,
kinda-
because he's
kinda
not
right.
alive.
I liked Roper better.
Kind of reminds me of you
no.
Roper
Nobody
was a
likes
real douche,
Roper.
wasn't he?
As soon as Roper came out, they're like, "What? Let
I
Ebert talk."
actually didn't mind Roper, but he was the most arrogant piece of shit.
Yeah,
Hey,
Siskel and Ebert's where it's at.
So speaking of your college days, did you see the farmhouse post?
Yeah, I did. I
Kinda
actually
cool.
thought that was kind of cool.
It was pretty cool.
They did it like MTV Cribs.
Yeah. Not what I remember.
No, that's not the memories I have of Old Farmhouse.
No, not at all. That
All
place
right,
was-
listen.
All right.
Your number. No.
Here's my number 9. I don't know if it's on any of your lists, to be honest, but I do like this movie. My wife reminded me about it before I left, and then I looked it up. I was like, "Oh yeah, I really do like this movie." 50 First Dates.
Oh yeah,
Well,
I like that movie too. Jared.
It's like a Memento type movie,
yeah.
you know, where she.
It's not a Memento type movie.
Yes, it is.
It is not.
It's a reoccurring thing.
she is not scarring herself to remember what
It's
happened
like
to
a
him.
Memento type movie.
If you mean like they
fuck
share
is
the
wrong with you?
one same thing where there's short-term memory loss, but
Yes.
otherwise the movies have no similarity
Yes,
whatsoever.
that's the one similarity they have.
But it's not a Memento-like movie. It
It's
shares
similar.
a plot device.
I feel so bad for Amy
very
right
similar.
now. Like horribly bad that you would make these two movies comparisons.
She's never seen Memento. She doesn't know any different. I love this movie because it's so Adam Sandler. It's funny. Obviously, it still has a lot of funny moments and it's quirky and weird. But I think it's really neat that Adam Sandler plays a role where he is very in love with this woman,
Yes.
even though she has this problem, and he's continuously like pursuing her, regardless of what's going on. Obviously, in the beginning, it takes a little bit of time to figure this thing out, but after that, he pursues her, and then at the payoff is at the end of the movie for me. Spoilers, where he makes the videotape, and you can see the videotape of her like watching it over and over again of what she's lived through her entire life,
and
basically.
you wept like a child.
And I weep like a child to this day
Yeah.
over that one scene because I think it's
like,
really great.
Here's your kids.
Yeah,
She's like, what?
isn't that insane? Like,
That is
think about that if it was a real thing.
Is it a real thing though?
I think people really do. There are people that really do have
Haven't
memory
you
loss
seen
like
Memento?
that. Yeah, duh. Thank you, dude.
Okay. All right, I'm going to move on. My number 8 is what I think is going to piss everybody off and Jerry off.
We're
Just be
waiting.
prepared. Billy Madison is my number 8.
That's like way down the list, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to talk much about it because I'm sure you guys are going to have it higher. It's just for me, there's a lot of better Adam Sandler movies. I like the movie. I love the movie. It's very quotable. But I don't know. To me, it's not one of my favorite of his. I don't feel like it has the story. It's more of a outlandish
story.
comedy.
So
Outlandish comedy, and that's fine.
we can talk about it now. We can talk about it later. I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be higher on me and Jerry's list. But this movie happened right after Airheads, which was this kind of the start. And
Yeah, it was
this
his
is
big
for-
breakout.
Yeah,
Was Billy
huge.
Madison.
And I remember seeing it in the movie theater and just falling in love with it. I mean, because nobody had ever done anything like this. You know. to
I'm not
that
saying it
extent.
isn't hilarious. It's legit hilarious. But that's all
It is. Yeah, I agree with you. There's not much there.
I mean,
to
I
it,
love
but-
Chris Farley's in it, and the whole
Yes.
cast is great.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, it's so quotable. It's one of his most quotable movies. But for me, there's just too many better movies. So that's my number 8.
All right. Mine is The Longest Yard.
Oh yeah, the old Burt Reynolds.
Yes,
remake.
the old
Reynolds,
Burt
Chris
Reynolds.
Rock, Nelly, Steve Austin. I keep going if I can remember them. But no, I just remember loving this movie, and
I have almost no memory of it, other than the fact that was the time that they were making all those sports movies.
And isn't there one? There's one part in that movie where like this big giant lineman. I think he just passed away. Actually, the guy who played Tiny in Friday.
Yes.
He has
No.
Isn't that guy?
No, it wasn't Tiny from Friday, but he was in quite a few of Adam Sandler's movies.
He's that big guy, and
big black man. you
yeah,
know.
and he has that line where he says, "I love little Michael." To talk about Michael Jackson.
No.
That's all I remember from that movie.
I remember loving it because I grew up with the original
With little Michael.
Oh, Michael Irving was in it too. I forgot about that.
Is he famous?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I grew up watching the original. Longest Yard. And,
He
just
gets
loved it.
emotional.
He does. It
Yeah.
breaks him up.
The Longest Yard is
He's
such
just-
an emotional movie.
Had a little something caught in my throat. there, but
Bob Sapp, is that who you're talking about?
no,
I have no idea.
American football player, best known for his career as a kickboxer and mixed martial art.
No, this was just an actor. He just passed away recently. I thought it was the same guy.
Hold on here. He's in
Anyway.
the Old Spice commercials.
No, that's
Oh, that's a
Terry
different guy.
Crews.
Yeah, that's Terry Crews.
He's in the movie.
Yeah, he is in the movie, and he's definitely not dead.
No,
he's the star of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, the other guy that just died was not the same guy.
Anyway,
It's,
go
sorry.
on. Let's move
Sorry,
on.
I've said enough.
Joey Diaz is in it, though. I forgot about that.
Joey Diaz.
Coco Diaz.
He is.
Yeah, he's on Rogan all the time. He's a stand-up comedian.
Oh, he is in it
Yeah.
as Big Tony.
Yeah.
Isn't there's another famous comedian in there, but he doesn't like Joe Rogan doesn't like him.
I don't know,
I
but
like the
Goldberg's in it.
Yeah, Goldberg.
That's weird.
Anyway,
Yep. Sorry, I didn't research a whole lot. I didn't have time. So
My number 8, right? We're on 8, is this is, I think, a widely underrated movie. And this is right when Adam Sandler started kind of going downhill with Netflix type movies and things where people pandered him a little bit, like didn't like what he was doing. But I did like this movie. I put it off for a long time to watch it. And it's called You Don't Mess with the Zohan.
I love that movie.
I like it a lot. And this is where...
That's not Netflix. That's way older.
yeah.
No, I know that. It's not a Netflix movie, but I'm saying like after this movie is where it started trending to that path.
Yeah, it's a
to
little
where
bit
it
of
wasn't
argumental.
it wasn't a Happy Madison production anymore. It went to like I'm selling out to Netflix. It obviously came like 7 years later than this. It was like 2015, 2016 that he did that. But it was trending to that path. Like the way his movies were going were different from that point on, I feel like. And I put it off for a long time because I thought this movie looked silly.
I've talked
And I
about
didn't-
how good that movie is before, and you've shit on me about
And I
it.
did. And then I've rewatched it since then and really enjoy it. The first time I watched it, I was like, I don't know. Then I watched it again, and I've ended up watching it multiple times now. And every time I feel like it gets better. I think it's hilarious. I think it's funny that he plays like a special forces type dude from
Israel.
is it Israel?
Israel.
And he fakes his death. He becomes a hairstylist, like the way he's the hairstylist. Everything about it.
John Turturro.
John Turturro in it is a absolute
Mitchell.
gem. The fact that John Turturro has played it's not a reoccurring character, but like been a reoccurring actor in some of these movies, I think he sells it for me in a lot of these movies because I love that dude.
And that might be the first time Nick Swartzen's in a movie with him. And
Wasn't
also-
Grandma's Boy out before this though?
No, it was
First of all,
after.
he wasn't in Grandma's Boy. Adam Sandler wasn't.
No, I know he wasn't, but I'm
their
saying
production company. No, Grandma's Boy would have been after Zohan. And listen, I debated putting Grandma's Boy on this list because it's one of my favorite movies.
I know, and
Yeah.
I looked it up just to
not
make
in
sure
it.
that he didn't have any part in that. But didn't he play a part where? What's the part where he says he's like this African guy or like a pot smoker with dreads, and he says, "Oh, you can hide your weed right here." Isn't that in Grandma's Boy?
I don't know.
Yeah, where are you going with this, buddy?
No, it's just one little character, and I thought it was in Grandma's Boy, and it was Adam Sandler playing the character, and he says, "Oh, and you know what you can do right here? You can hide your weed right here."
I don't remember that, but
Oh.
Emmanuel Shikri is in it too. From
Anyway, don't mess with the Zohan. Don't throw that away. It's pretty good.
all right, my number 7 is 50 First Dates.
Is it? I'm so glad somebody else had this on their
very
list.
much enjoy that movie, and I will tell you what, this is the embodiment of a lot of these, what a lot of people would call subpar Adam Sandler movies, right? But they're just, and there is nobody else making movies like this in Hollywood that I can think of off the top of my head. And the type of movie I'm talking about are just happy, feel-good movies.
Yes, and that's what I love. I'm a feel-good guy.
I'll talk about some shittier movies like, there's the one like Blended, the one where they go to Africa, and
I never
some of the
saw
other
that.
movies he's made that aren't very good movies, but they're happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They make you happy.
All of them are.
Yeah.
Happy Madison.
And there needs to be some credit for that, right?
I agree.
It doesn't always have to be cutting edge. It doesn't always have to be edgy or dark or any of this.
It could be something. It's like a popcorn flick,
Yeah.
even though it doesn't have action.
And
you
that's
can
what
just-
he's going for when he makes them.
Yes.
It's a point of light for him. I mean,
That's what he wants
It's a
to
little
make.
higher up on my list, but not much. But
He's trying to continue the 90s family funny
Correct.
movie, right? Where you had
And
like,
that particularly is actually a very good movie.
where you had
it's
like
a very family-oriented movie. I mean, where you can
but you had like the Tommy Boys and like that type of movie that came out at in the mid 90s and stuff that were a family type movie that you could sit down and watch, because we did at home. I remember my brother worked at the Mazan Market, and he'd bring home movies that he would watch at the market before he'd deliver pizzas and whatnot, and then he'd be like, you guys got to watch this, and he'd bring it home and we watch the movie, and it'd be hilarious. Those are the type of movies that I feel like Adam Sandler was still trying to make, with
Still
that
is
type of
trying
movie.
to make
and
on
he really
Netflix.
is. Yeah, he's still trying to make those now.
But 51st States, that's my number 7. Dude, your number 7 is
grown-ups, man.
Grown Up. And that's another example of just a feel-good, happy family movie.
Yes.
Well, it took all of his friends from Saturday Night Live that all got fired. Literally, all of them got fired, and put them all together, and they made a movie about being adults in their childhood, and I just loved it.
But he added
While you're in there, Chris,
he added that one guy. What's his name?
Mall Cop.
Yeah, what's his name? Not Paul Blart. Kevin James.
Kevin James.
I was gonna say I kept thinking of Paul Blart.
The Mall Cop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin James is in it as well.
Yeah.
And he
Chris
does
Rock.
really well.
Chris,
No, I know, but he said the SNL people, but I was saying
yeah.
but he also added Kevin James
Yeah.
because he wasn't an SNL guy.
That's another one for me, though. I mean, my only downside with that is you get this incredible cast together, and then you make a fun movie.
Yeah.
But you just kind of, your expectations are here, and then the
Well,
movie kind of half delivers. It's good. It's very good.
It gets shit on because it's not Billy Madison,
I don't want it to be, frankly.
Same here.
I like those early Sandler movies, but he can't do that anymore. I don't want him to do that anymore.
That's
It looked good when he was 22 years old.
Yeah.
not anymore.
But I don't want to see a 55-year-old guy playing that character. He did in that one with Andy Samberg.
Yes,
And that's not a bad movie either. but
That's my boy.
That's
my
my boy. Yeah.
it's
I
good.
thought about putting it on this list. I really did. I thought about putting it as number 10 because that movie is
It's funny.
hilarious.
And
as
Adam
much as
Sandberg is-
as much as I love doing this list, we could do a top 10 of the worst Adam Sandler movies too.
Absolutely.
Oh,
He's
absolutely,
made-
we
he's made
could.
so many.
He has, and it's either really good, you like it, or you don't at all. There's no in between.
We got to move this thing along.
Yeah.
My number 7 is The Water Boy.
Ooh.
A lot of people would probably put this higher, and I think I would have thought prior to looking at all of his movies I would have it higher, but then once I started looking at these movies and really thinking about them, I couldn't put it any higher than 7 because it's just what you've said before, Chris, is like it's like a slapstick funny comedy movie, but there tries to be more there.
Yeah.
There is more there.
There's
There's a lot of heart in that movie.
I love this movie. It's on my.
I feel like it tries to be, but it just doesn't play off as being like as heartfelt as some of the others.
He's
I
trying
mean,
to
yeah.
recreate, in my opinion, he's trying to recreate, Happy Mad.
I love it.
The original two, Billy Madison or Happy Gilmore. He's trying to recreate it, but he's using a different one of his characters from SNL, and I love this movie. But
I love it that they brought it into like that. He brought that SNL character into a movie and made a whole movie about it, and it's hilarious. It makes me laugh It's something that I quote regularly.
Oh, yeah.
Dirk says because they don't use the name of the Gatorade.
That's and that I'm so appreciative of that.
Gatorade.
I'll
Thank you,
spare you
Dirk.
the suspense. My number 6 is also The Waterboy.
Oh, okay.
That's one of those movies that initially, when I first saw it, I wasn't like crazy about it. But the more you watch it, the better it gets.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely. And it's one
and
you can
even
go back to.
Today, I go back and watch it, and it'll be better than the last time I watched
Right.
it.
You've got the sideline coach that's like that just says random. You can't understand him,
Yeah. And I love
and the whole
God, I can't
medulla oblongata thing.
the
and-
Fonz.
yeah, the Fonz. We've met him.
Come on, we met him. Jerry high-fived him. He told him
did.
not to jump the shark.
I did.
He got a dirty look for it.
Yeah, he
It's
kind of
all
looked at me
good.
like, "Really? That was your one line you had to say to me?"
I
right now?"
absolutely love that dude. No, seriously,
Henry Winkler.
Henry Winkler.
I think a lot of people will laugh at that movie as a choice, but it's better than you remember.
It is.
It is.
And
a
it's
lot
weird
better.
to think about that, but it is.
It's a boy man realizing he doesn't have to stay under the overarching wing of his mother.
And Vicky Valentine,
Vicky Valentine, what a diva.
Wait, no, it's Vicky Valancourt.
Vicky
Valancourt, what a bombshell.
But I do love Kathy Bates that they got her to do that.
yeah, I
It's
know.
great.
Kathy Bates, Henry Winkler. It's unbelievable. Who's the guy that plays the coach though? That's like,
I know. I keep.
you like to see homos naked.
He's in a lot of Sandler movies. I can't remember his
What the
name,
hell
but
is it? Because he's in 51st Dates as the dad.
he's in like all of his movies. I think he's like a recurring
Yeah.
cast person.
So
Go on, number 6, dude.
The Wedding Singer.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that later.
We
Okay,
will.
we can talk about it now or later. Don't matter to me.
No, we're
No,
gonna
we'll talk about it later.
Well, I'm sorry it's so low on my list.
Yeah,
It's fine.
It shouldn't be.
I'm sorry for you as well.
Well, yep.
Dirk says Vicky Valancourt. Ooh la la.
Ooh la la.
Man, he's on the callback. You're on the
good,
callbacks
dude.
tonight.
He's
Dirk.
doing
got it, man.
very well.
All right, we're gonna get into. Oh no, you got your number 6. Sorry,
I'm on my number 6, and it is Mr. Deeds.
Mr. Deeds.
Mr. Deeds, I love that movie. That's another John Turturro
Yep.
favorite where he wants to change your socks.
He kills
Mr.
that
Dudes.
movie. John Turturro.
Yeah, Mr. Deeds. I love that movie. What's the lady? I can't.
Winona
think.
Ryder.
Winona
Yes.
Ryder's in it, and she makes up that whole like Dr. Pepper scenario of her breaking her arm, and I don't know. I love it. He comes into money, and he ends up being really rich, and whatever. Everybody's seen Mr. Deeds. I
Has
love
black
it.
Feet.
He's got a frozen foot, and it's great. And then that's the most famous scene where he has John Turturro, his butler, just beating his foot
Yeah.
with a fire poker, and then he ends up stabbing it. He starts screaming, and then he's like, "Nah, I'm just messing with you." It's a great movie.
Isn't
Love
that a
Mr.
remake
Deeds.
of Mr. Deeds Goes to Washington or something? I can't
No,
remember.
Mr. Smith Goes to
That's
Washington
what I'm
is
thinking
a
of.
completely non-related
Yeah.
black and white movie.
Oh, okay.
I think he
about
should.
the legislative process.
I think he should make a
correct.
follow up to Mr. Deeds though, because he's all about like writing greeting cards, right? That's all he did was write greeting cards, and he hung them up at his local bar, and they like really supported him. And that's when he found out that he made all this money from his dead uncle or whatever, and he still wrote these sappy greeting cards. I think they need to make a movie about that,
I'm in.
and I think it would be really good.
Game.
We'll get into the top 5.
Top 5.
The
Here
big
it goes.
My number 5, Mr. Deeds.
Damn you, Christopher.
Yeah, I mean that's another one that kind of gets better every time you watch it.
It does.
When you watched it initially, it's like, okay, that's fine movie, and then you watch it more and more, and you're like, this is a pretty sweet movie.
It is.
It's got a nice message. It makes you tear up here or there.
My favorite part is when they're in the helicopter and they sing Space Odyssey by,
Oh yeah,
why can't I think of him?
Space.
The guy who just died a couple years ago.
yep.
Ground control to Major Tom. I'm stepping through the door. And I'm floating
sad we can't remember who
in the
this artist
most
is right now, 'cause all three of us are drawing a blank.
David Bowie.
There you go.
Anyway, no, I do. I like everything. Chesterton, Fieldville, Iowa.
Chesterton, Fieldville,
It's a
Iowa.
good movie.
Where
It's
Dr.
it's just
Pepper's
It's a classic, feel good, Adam Sandler post
And he was on a
Happy
roll.
Gilmore, when he matured a little bit with his movies and just had those real nice string of just feel good, happy go lucky.
He had Happy Gilmore, and then he came into the Little Nicky phase.
Oh, yeah.
And then he got into this type of movie.
Yeah.
And this is where I think he really
Cemented himself.
Yeah, he really did. And I love it.
Dude, you're number 5.
50 first dates.
50 first dates.
50 first dates.
That's a different date than I was
That
on.
is a different kind of date.
I guarantee you there wouldn't be 49 more after the first.
No, but
50 first dates, yes.
we already talked about it. Love it. I remember I watch it multiple times with my kids. It's just a really good movie.
Yeah, it's and Drew Barrymore. Come on.
That's what I was just
America's
second.
Sweetheart.
I was just going to say.
Second installment of Drew Barrymore.
I don't feel like because
and there's been
Wedding Singer.
more since.
There's
Blended.
Wedding
She was
Singer.
in Blended.
Blended and there
I think they work
3.
really well
there's
together.
3 because I was thinking Jennifer Aniston was in the Just Go With It.
It is Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
Blended, Wedding Singer, and 51st Dates,
Yep.
and she might be in another one. I'm not sure.
Is Blended the one that they go to Africa?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, that's the only one I was thinking of. So yeah, it's just 3. My number 5 is Billy Madison. It is a movie that I watched as a child. I shouldn't have probably at the age I was at, but I've watched it more and more and more since then. I've always loved it. I thought it was hilarious at the end of the movie where, the clown on the stilts falls over.
I'm still alive.
Yeah, there's the song where he's saying and I got an aneurysm in my head after he slams down. There's so many things that movie make me laugh so much. Kevin Nealon's in it.
Oh yeah,
I think Kevin
Nealon's
Nealon
the
is phenomenal in that movie.
he's amazing in everything.
Norm Macdonald's in it too, right?
Yeah,
With
yeah.
Kevin
Yeah.
Nealon.
Yep.
They're the bums that are always sitting on the chairs.
They're like his friends.
yeah. That's a great movie. And Chris Farley being in it as well, that's correct. Talking about the test questions and taking his shirt off, and the bus driver scenes.
Yeah.
It's one of the funniest movies ever made.
It's so
There's no doubt
quotable.
about it.
It's so
Oh,
quotable
God.
about
Quit looking at me, Schwan.
yeah, that and if peeing your pants makes you cool, consider me Miles Davis. That stuff. Get on the bus. All this, who could eat 50
Bag lunches.
Bag lunches. I think that's hilarious. And then he's sitting there next to the bus, just stuff in his face. It's a great movie. There's no substance to this movie whatsoever.
No,
Story wise,
it's not.
it just is funny.
Well, when it came out, it was the only thing that ever happened that comical wise. I mean, it was the first time it ever happened.
Nudie Magazine Day. Nudie Magazine
I think
Day.
that there was a
The
there was a kind
Penguins?
of a tipping point in comedy movies, right? So prior to that, you got
Too damn hot for a penguin to be outside.
prior to that, you got a lot of satire, right? And you got a lot of Mel Brooks and Blazing
Right.
Saddles
Yeah.
and Monty Python and Naked Gun and things that were an Airplane. So you either got the ridiculous slapstick, or you got parody or satire Mel Brooks would give you that had a lot of more nuance to it.
So
But this came out, it was the beginning of that change in the 90s to a different style of comedy that would move on with Will Ferrell and Vince Vaughn and all these guys it's just kind of and even into The Hangover, and then it kind of ended.
Yeah.
And we don't get those movies anymore.
And it's crazy because Tommy Boy is one of my favorite movies too, and that came out in '95, and Billy Madison came out in '95.
Yeah.
And so they were filmed right around the same time, 94, 95 time frame, and that is when you got those movies. That was the transition between.
But then you didn't get the earlier stuff, the Mel Brooks style stuff.
Well, they'd all just
They didn't make that
fired.
anymore. That
No.
it all changed, and then it went, and then they took that Billy Madison, Tommy Boy, that kind of stuff, and then in the 2000s they made it rated R comedies.
Yeah.
When they went into The Hangover and things like Wedding Crashers, and then they stopped making comedies.
Because turns out comedy can be offensive.
Well,
And
Yes.
another point people need to realize, when this came out, they'd all been fired. Adam Sandler, Farley, Rock, David Spade, they all been fired from SNL. They were gone. Mm-hmm. So this they just got a movie deal, and this was the first one that took off on them. So I don't know. I just remember a little bit. Well, this is a little bit higher up on my list, but we can move it along here if you want.
Okay.
Go ahead. You're up.
Am I up for number 4 or 5?
I literally just told you my number 5 was Billy Madison.
Oh,
I
I
forgot.
thought that
So
was
it's your
his.
number 4.
That's your number 4.
Oh.
I seriously want to put it higher on my list for Adam Sandler because I think it is one of my favorites, but I can't put it above the next two. But it's a very serious movie called Reign Over Me.
Okay, I don't recall that movie being that good.
Yeah, same here.
I loved it.
I mean, I liked it. Don't get me wrong.
It's with Don Cheadle and Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler's family gets killed in the 2000,
Oh, now I
like
remember.
September
Yeah.
11th, like Twin Tower attacks, and he is basically like destroyed. You know, his life is destroyed, obviously. And his best friend from college, which is played by Don Cheadle, comes and finds him. And then their relationship basically saves his life. And Adam Sandler's acting in this movie blew me
I do remember that.
absolutely away.
And Don Cheadle, too. I
Absolute-
remember
yes.
the acting being incredible all around.
Don Cheadle is like a supporting character. He has more to do, right? Don Cheadle has more to do because he's like physically working to get this guy to do something. And in the beginning of the film, Adam Sandler doesn't do much because he is so depressed and just can't function. But it builds and builds and builds this relationship up between these two people and Don Cheadle's family with him. And because Don Cheadle's wife, and which is Jada Pinkett Smith, meeting a different person than he knew from college, right? So he tries to build him up as this guy. Then she meets him, and he's not that guy. And throughout it, I just remember there's a song by The Who called "Reign Over Me."
Yeah.
Or it's Love, Reign Over Me. And there's a scene with Adam Sandler out in the middle of the street when it's raining, and him and Don Cheadle are out there, and he has like this big monologue about his family, about what's going on, and this song's playing in the background. And that's all I need. I need one thing like that to really set something apart. And after that, I was like, man, I fucking love this movie.
Yeah.
And it's
I liked
so
it.
good.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to rewatch it.
I think you should. I think everybody should. I mean, it's
Powerful. I remember it being
Yeah.
powerful.
It is. It's not a feel-good movie, really. I mean,
Because it came out right on the heels of 9/11. I remember
it's 2007. It came out 2007.
Really? Was that
and-
late? Man.
Yeah. And it's not anything you would ever think Adam Sandler would do or could act in. I don't know. It's very, very different. And it struck me. It's very good. It's my number 3.
Okay. My number 2 is The Wedding Singer.
Okay.
So we'll just wait to talk about that because it's going to be
Correct.
talked about later.
Happy Gilmore,
That's your number 2?
number 2.
We'll wait and talk about that a little bit in a minute.
Okay.
And my number 2 is The Wedding Singer.
Okay.
Because it is a phenomenal movie. We could just talk about it now, right?
Might
Yeah,
as well.
that's
absolutely.
it, right?
That's it.
So The Wedding Singer, unbelievable movie. There are so many callbacks in this movie that
Another one that's better
just
every time you watch it.
don't understand how
man.
you can get any better than this movie, except for one, to me. But there's one scene with John Lovitz where he's singing "It's Ladies' Night" that I
Yes.
can never forget. And I think he puts socks in his pants, right? Like
Oh,
he
yeah.
shoves socks down his pants to sing this song. Hilarious. But when they get on the plane and he goes and sings the song on the
Gonna
plane,
Make you smile.
come on.
Yeah.
You can't beat that.
Yeah. It's such a sweet.
And then the callback
Happy-
in the Goldbergs.
That's amazing episode of the Goldbergs. But Drew Barrymore, I mean, this is the one best instance of having a perfect person to play against.
Yep.
And then having
Everything came together perfectly in this movie. The guy that was
and the theming of the 80s and everything being the 80s was incredible. Yeah, it's perfect. It's a great movie.
yeah.
So the thing that the
Somebody
throwbacks
kill
to all the
me,
80s with the
please.
Van Halen T-shirt, I'll take off my Van Halen T-shirt before they break up or something. That was what made it for me because it's a childhood,
Yeah, it was
80s.
period accurate.
Pretty please.
Hilarious.
I'm on my knees. Kill me. I want to die. Wow. It's awesome.
It's yeah, we can't say too much. I mean,
if you have a movie where Adam
if you
Sandler
haven't seen
sings,
The Wedding Singer, you need to. What
oh
are you
my God,
doing?
you need to think about your life.
Yeah.
Okay, look back at your life. Have you lived?
Yeah.
Are you a human being in the United States right now?
It has to be one of the most nostalgic.
I feel like you
too.
grew up in Soviet Russia. If you didn't,
in Russia. Wedding sings you.
In Russia, you sing wedding.
Oh, Yakov. All right, we'll get into my number one is Big Daddy.
I knew it was coming.
Oh, man, I love this movie.
I love it. So I didn't really appreciate it. I went back and watched it later after I became a father, and you go, wow.
Yeah.
I know. I debated putting this. I should have put it up higher, I think. I just really like that Reign Over Me movie. I really like The Wedding Singer. And my number one, I feel like has to be my number one. I don't.
For me, there was no question in my mind, Big Daddy. I've always loved that movie.
It is so good.
It hit me right at the right
David
time in my
Seatentop's
life.
going to have the same answer as you.
All the feels in the world. The acting is brilliant. You love seeing Jon Stewart acting, by
Yes.
the way. I mean,
I'm Scuba Sam, Scuba Steve's father.
I like Leslie Mann.
What's
in
his
it.
5-year plan? Don't die.
I'm a huge fan of. What's the main?
Well, I can wipe my own
female?
ass.
What's the main female?
Oh, shit. Give me a minute.
Oh my gosh. Joey Lauren Adams, right?
Yes, Joey
Yeah.
Lauren Adams.
Yep.
Yes.
Huge fan of hers, obviously from Chasing Amy.
Of
pretty
course.
much my
Yeah.
favorite movie of all time.
I think that's the last movie she ever did.
I don't.
Big
maybe
Daddy.
that might be.
I'm not joking you. I
Could
really
be. I
do
mean,
believe.
The Phantom?
It's like
That's
the,
about it.
I'm sure she
Was
did
she
some.
in the Phantom?
Yeah.
That's
she's-
supposed to be a Snarf Talk homework movie, but Jerry won't do it. He won't do his homework, folks.
just-
You've never seen... Wait a minute. We literally...
No, it's
I
supposed
was
to be
here on that episode.
years. This was like a year ago. I was supposed to watch this
Well,
movie.
first of all, she was in Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, that's a thing. You're
No,
right.
she's been in tons of stuff.
Anything anybody's heard
Yeah,
of?
Mr. Pickles TV series from 2014.
the
Grey's
hell's
Anatomy. You ever heard of that?
she was in Grey's
I've heard
Anatomy.
of it. Never watched it.
She's in a tons of shit. Anyway, Big Daddy for me, that's my number one. Go ahead, dude. Your number one is
Great movie.
Billy Madison. We've already talked about it. I mean...
Want to touch the hiney.
So hot, want to touch the hiney. It is a phenomenal.
It is, yep.
That is like the epitome of Adam Sandler movies, though.
Well,
you know what I
that's
mean?
set
Like
the bar. I mean, like we've already talked about it. Nothing had ever been done like that before.
coming from Saturday Night Live and coming into movies, that movie was like what everyone expected of Adam Sandler to a point that increased what they wanted from Adam Sandler. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you knew what you were getting from Saturday Night Live. Then he comes out with a Billy Madison movie that was like, oh, like this has to be good. And then people saw it and they were like, what is he doing? It blew it out of the water in the beginning. And I think it was really good. But
Yeah.
my number one
Ooh.
It's Happy Gilmore.
is Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
That's
Because it's the perfect
the
mix
quintessential.
of Billy Madison ridiculousness, but actual the story and the sappy drama that we come to love later on.
100%. And he beats the piss and also gets the piss beaten out of him by Bob Barker. I mean, have you ever seen that in a movie in your life?
Nope.
Nope.
Don't
No,
forget
you
to spay
haven't.
your pets.
Besides, yeah.
So I got a story about Happy Gilmore and work. So a friend of ours, Chubbs Corrigan, got hired on at the plant, and I was calling him Chubbs because he's always been Chubbs. And I had a boss of mine say, you can't call him Chubbs. And I was
Yes, I
like,
can.
well, I'm like, why not? You know, because he's Chubbs. And he thought I was referencing the movie, Happy Gilmore.
Oh, and like calling him Chubbs was a black guy.
Yeah.
So
Well,
he thought it was like a derogatory, like
yeah.
Why would
racial
that be
comment, I guess?
derogatory?
Well, at the time,
that's what I mean, like a racial comment, maybe. He
yes,
thought
it was. He thought it was a racial comment, and I was calling this guy, a very negative thing. No, he's just chubby. That's how we call him Chubbs. He's like, you can't call him that. I go, he has it tattooed in 6-inch letters on his back. So
I was there.
He's got a
I
giant
watched it do it.
tattoo on his back.
And that's my little story.
But I'm telling you, like Chubbs is a great part of that.
Yeah. Look,
There's a famous.
I got him, Chubbs.
There's a professional golfer, Lee Trevino, that is in the movie. That is always the guy that stands outside the window that just shakes his head.
Dirk says the price is wrong, bitch.
The price is wrong, bitch. Yeah. Everything about this movie makes me smile. I can watch it at any point in time. Like,
See,
it could be halfway through the movie and I'll be like, that's fine.
I
Let's
think
watch
that's
it.
why I have it at number 4, as opposed to the. Okay, maybe Punch Drunk Love got a little high for me, but Big Daddy and Wedding Singer, I can literally watch anytime.
Yeah.
Yes.
Happy Gilmore, I can't just watch over.
Oh,
and over
man,
and
I can
over
watch
again.
Happy Gilmore any day.
Like I do.
You can't watch
Nah,
Happy
I
Gilmore over and over again?
I need
Who
a little
are
bit
you?
of time.
Who
to, like,
are you?
I don't know.
What the hell's wrong
He
with
took
you?
my hand. I mean, an alligator bites Chubb's hands off, and then he gives him the alligator head, and then he falls out a window and dies.
Yeah.
Come on. If there's not classic
I mean,
movie
I love it.
written right
It's my
there.
number 4.
Ting, ting,
Well, it's my number
ting.
1.
There you go. That's it, folks. That's our top 10.
That is our top
Adam Sandler.
10.
We got 11 minutes left if we want to do some what we're watching.
10. I have 10 minutes left.
10 minutes left if we want to do some what we're watching.
I have some. I don't have very much, so it could go quick.
I have 4 things, but we're gonna have to pick and choose here. So
Okay.
I can pick one. I've been watching The Expanse at the behest
I need to
of
get in
dude
that.
over here. He told me to watch it.
Yeah.
So I've been started watching The Expanse.
I'm in love.
It's on Amazon.
Yes.
I'm a sci-fi fanatic. Like, I love sci-fi. I love space. Anything to do with space. The dude kind of talked about it that one week, but it's basically like the solar system has been colonized, and there's Earth, and there's Mars, and they're the major superpowers.
So speaking of that, they dropped another rover on Mars today.
Yeah.
Just to let you know.
I mean, okay.
Should have been.
That's
in
a
news,
huge
Jerry.
space.
Should have been in news.
That's a huge relative space.
Yeah, but we're not
thing.
getting news right now.
We have a
Just
set
saying.
thing that you guys make me stick to, and we can't.
Why
talk.
can't that be a thing I say? We have 2 rovers on Mars right now. That's a big deal.
Okay. Point being, and then there's the Belters who they live on the asteroid belt. I just think it's amazing that they have like thought so in depth about the plot of this movie that they think about things like, well, the Belters who lived in this asteroid belt have grown up with less gravity, so they're going to be taller and their bone density is going to be minuscule. Their muscle mass is going to be less
Because
So
they've never had gravity.
So it
yeah.
would be torture to bring them down to Earth and subject them to the gravity. They think about every little detail like
Oh
that.
man, you're just starting out, aren't you?
I'm in the second season.
Oh,
Oh, you are? I'm still on the first.
I will say the first season is a trudge a little
Yeah.
bit. It's not that it's not enjoyable. It's that they give you so little story.
They're
Oh,
trying
really?
to
So slow.
they're trying to really get that backstory kickstarted there.
It is a lot of backstory, and it also is a mystery, right? The first season is a mystery.
I've only seen the first 4 or 5.
And they
it gets so
spend
much
the
better.
whole episode on that mystery, and it's difficult at times. Once you get into the second season, I feel like that's when the show really starts to pick up and revel in what it is.
Once the
Because-
Rocinante gets going,
and
it's-
I gotta get into it.
understand the characters and the world that's going on. Thomas Jane in this show is incredible.
Is he really?
He is so good. He's the best. I mean, I know he's the biggest name on the show for
Right.
sure, but he is incredible on this show. Like his
Have you seen
you're
all
gonna
of
be
it?
so disappointed.
oh no,
Well, don't say that.
say
Don't.
that.
Have you seen every season of it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It get, so
How many seasons are there? 4?
There's 5 seasons.
Five. So
I'm
I was kind of
Is it
halfway
over?
through season 2. Yeah, it's never.
So-
It's done.
so 4 gets a little 5 gets a little in the beginning while you're in there. Gets a little slow at the beginning, but towards the end,
Yes,
and
sir.
the cliffhanger on the season 5 for season 6 is amazing. The end of season 5, it's worth everything that you've watched.
so there's a season 6 coming.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
that's the last season.
I
Or
don't
we don't
know.
know.
We don't know.
So Amazon bought the show.
Yes, Amazon bought the show from Sci-Fi.
Well, that's good news for you.
The production value is also incredible.
Oh. Yeah, it's not cheesy at all. I mean,
It is definitely not cheesy. It's intense. This show is rated freaking R. Don't play it in front of your children.
Oh,
no.
really?
Yeah.
Between
A
the
lot of
cussing,
hot sexual scenes.
Nah.
Not so much that, but it's
Just
violent.
intense.
Yeah.
It's very violent.
Violent sexual scenes.
So
There is some nudity. Minor.
There's some, but so the thing I love about it is it's how it's all set. It could happen as soon as in the not so distant future.
Nolan says season 2 is really great.
Season 2 so far has been really good.
Dirk also said he's got old balls.
I think he's talking about Big Daddy.
Oh,
Yeah.
not The Expanse?
No.
Okay.
I don't know.
30-second delay there.
There is some things that are obnoxious. Like, I'm not saying that they're not realistic, but there is a lot of politics in it, right?
Which is
And
what's driven.
some of that is kind of grating because you're like, Jesus Christ, people.
Yeah.
Like, figure it out and they're doing stupid things behind each other's backs to like one up each other, which is what would actually happen.
Yeah, but aggravating.
But it's
to watch.
aggravating to watch because you're like, oh, come on. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I enjoy it. Thomas Jane alone, for his performance, very haunting performance. It's very good.
He's
Anyway,
awesome.
So it is it's a good show so far. Season 1 was tough. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, get through
It was
it.
very tough. Season
Okay.
2 is great. But it is like not a fun watch.
No.
It's not like I can't wait to get home to watch The Expanse and be depressed.
Oh, really? Like every episode is depressing?
No,
like
not
that?
every episode, but it's intense, man. It is not and this is not entry level sci-fi.
No, it's not.
This is not entry level.
You have to really enjoy sci-fi and have to really think outside the
If
box.
you don't like sci-fi, you are not going to like this
No,
show.
you're not.
Period.
Okay. I love sci-fi, and I've seen 4 or 5 episodes. I can't remember how. I think it's at least 4 of the first.
Yeah, you
season.
got to get through 2 seasons.
Nolan says, "Who is Dude's favorite character, and why is it Amos?" I'm going to tell you what. I'm not a fan of Amos right now.
So if you keep watching The Expanse, you'll get to see the backstory behind him, which is amazing. But I just like him because he's just cold.
he's a
just
cold, hard son of a bitch.
So
Oh,
it
sounds like my
oh
life.
man, it pays off. It pays off by season 5. You get the whole backstory of why he's so cold, and you understand.
I guess I just again
I
that's
hate
one
giving
of
away
those
spoilers, but
don't give away a
No,
spoiler
no,
because
no,
I'm
don't
literally
do that.
actively watching this.
And I'm going to too.
I'm not. But so the whole point, you gotta get to season 1. So I'm gonna give one spoiler: the Rocinante. When you get to the Rocinante, you start to see a crew become a family.
Yeah, well, I'm there. I'm midway through season 2.
So you're starting to see the family.
That's when the show really. I feel like season 1 was trudging through a lot of backstory to get to the point where you can start enjoying season 2 forward.
I love Amos.
Dirk said Jerry will like
Not because
Amos.
of the beard. It has nothing to do with the beard. It's just I love Amos.
Dirk already knows I'm a cold son of a bitch. And we've never met.
You get one.
WandaVision.
Oh, that's a long one.
Yeah, we can skip it.
No, we can talk about it. That's your one you're picking. Listen, I don't think we can get too spoiler heavy because it's going on mid-season. A lot of people haven't watched
Grace
it.
is watching it now.
That's great.
So my 11-year-old daughter went back and watched every single Marvel movie there is. So I got her hooked on 1 or 2, and she wanted to watch them. So tonight she's watching WandaVision sitting at the table, and I'm like, "Where are you at?" She goes, "First episode." I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome."
Oh.
She goes, "Is the whole series in black and white?" I'm like,
No.
well, I didn't say no. I'm like, "You need to watch." Well, it's the whole series in black and white. I'm like, "You need to watch." And the third time, she goes, "Well, I guess it's not in black and white if I have to ask a third time." I'm like, "You little shithead."
Yeah.
Where it's going, I got no idea, man. I just love every single bit of it. I love the original watch of it where you just got to sit back and enjoy it for what it is.
It is impressive on what they are doing with this show in a way that they are holding back story in order to reveal the overarching story of
Correct.
what Marvel Phase 4 is going to be, right? So there is so much that they're holding back, and I think it's obviously on purpose, but it's aggravating at times.
Oh, God, it's
super aggravating to where you want this story to be let out, but they're doing it in a way, and I think that will paint a picture of where everything's going. And so many people, I think, are going to come in at the end. And I just read a thing that said that they're capping Wanda at 9 episodes.
So that's what I was just going to get into. So this is my only issue. The first 3 episodes I felt like were a complete waste. They were paced all wrong.
Completely agree.
I am in love with this show. I'll put it out there.
Yep.
I mean,
Same here.
I absolutely love it. Episode 4 on.
Yes. They could have done it better.
Well, yeah, but
they paced it all wrong.
No, I disagree. That's what makes it good. Is that by episode 4 or by the end of 3, you're like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? 1 and 2, you're like, all right.
I didn't feel like that.
I didn't either. I was really aggravated.
I was
with
aggravated,
the first.
and I thought it was
exact
unnecessary, and it's going to lose a lot of viewers very quickly.
The first 2 aggravated me. The third one gave me a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
But it was still an aggravation as like, there's no explanation of story yet. You know,
That's kind of to my opinion, that's the point. That's what gets guys like us.
That's their point, and I get why they're doing it. I'm just saying I don't appreciate it.
Because you want a comic book movie. You want a comic book show.
But take it as a person that has never seen any of this stuff before, and then they come into that, they would know nothing. It gives them nothing, and they drop out immediately.
And that's not it. That's not it, either of those things. It's like I can appreciate things. Like I can appreciate things for what they're trying to do. I'm saying what they tried to do was not successful, in my opinion.
I disagree. So they're setting up their TV model off The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian is its own thing, but there's a lot of Easter eggs that go back to Star Wars, correct?
Yeah.
So WandaVision is not its own thing, but yet if you start watching it, what's a black and white comedy that kind of looks like the Brady Bunch? But for most people, we have watched the Marvel Universe who are going to watch the show. And if you haven't, you're going to go back. You're going to watch the Marvel Universe.
But here's where it fails between Mandalorian and WandaVision is that you take a main character out of all of the Avengers and Endgame and whatever. You've seen the past, future, present of this character, and you bring her into this one TV show. And you want so much out of this character.
Oh, yeah.
And you already know a lot about this character, and they give you absolutely nothing about what's going on besides you know who this person is and you know who this person is.
For 3 episodes. Almost 4, really.
But The Mandalorian, you don't know who that guy is. You don't know his backstory, and they have something to build off of, and every episode gives you a little bit more about who he is and what he's going to do. And it's like a side story to what Star Wars is. This one isn't a side story of Avengers.
You're thinking
it's in the middle of it.
So you're thinking of like a fan. I'm thinking of what Disney's doing as a company. The Mandalorian was put out there to suck people into their app, or what do you want to call it?
Yeah, but you have to look at it as a viewer.
And so WandaVision's out there. Oh, there's this new Marvel. Everybody knows Marvel. So we put WandaVision out there, and guess what?
Change the script.
We got what's going on here? We got to go back and watch all these Marvel things so that people keep the app. They're constantly looking for new content.
But to keep the app, you have to give them something,
which
and
is
you
what
get nothing out of the first 3 episodes.
Which is what they're doing. So let's skip ahead. Are you looking forward to Loki now?
I don't know. Am I?
Well, I mean,
of course I am, but
of course we are. But I'm saying,
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, according to research, is the most anticipated show that has ever existed.
And because of their
I
Super
just
Bowl
read an
promo.
article about it from that Super Bowl.
Yeah,
this is what they're doing. They are creating a backstory. Where WandaVision goes is going to directly relate to Loki, and what's going to directly relate to Loki is going to directly relate to Winter Soldier. They're starting the second universe. Or the 4th phase.
Phase 4.
They're starting over again is what they're doing, because after Avengers, if you haven't seen it.
I get it. And here's the deal. I can forgive them because the first 2 episodes were half an hour long and they were released at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. I think personally they should have dropped like the first 4 My only issue becomes when you find out that they're all half-an-hour episodes and there's only 9 of them, and we're already on episode 6.
I know.
But for a
I
Phil
agree
Snob
with you.
they're creating backstory. So
I get it, but give me 12 episodes then, or 15.
I completely agree.
Or give me 1 hour episodes and give me 12 or 10. Give me 10 1-hour episodes and make the first 2 episodes 1 episode. Fine. And with a little more in there, a little more mystery or intrigue. I'm just saying. Anyway, my point is, at this point, I'm really into this show.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm super excited about it. I think it already lost a lot of people, unfortunately. I had a friend today who's like, do I really need to watch this pink popsicle show? And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know
what to tell you. I don't know. You don't, I guess.
Well, at this point, it's like nobody knows until it's over with. Until it's over, we can go back and say, like, yes, absolutely you need to see it, or no, absolutely you don't. But
as a fanboy,
what
yes. I mean, you're going to love it.
What I will say
but as
is,
a casual
like,
fan, I don't know.
No.
what Disney is doing, regardless of good or bad, it is drawing conversation, just like we're having.
That's what they want.
People are having conversations about this show, good or bad, and it is drawing people to it.
Yep.
Regardless. And that's what they need. That's what they want. That's exactly how they are setting up this phase. And if you know it as setting up phase 4, then people should come and watch it, right?
Yep.
As long as you know that to begin with. Right now, if you watch the show, it doesn't feel that way because you don't know what anything that they're doing. Like, you've seen glimpses of the
'Cause you're
outside.
week
You've
to
seen
week.
glimpses of whatever.
Which I
you're
love
week to
all-
week with a 30 or a 24-minute show that gives you nothing week to week almost. Like, you get about 4 minutes of actual story.
But to watch it a month from now when you can just binge the whole series through, it's
That's
a
how
completely
they
different experience.
they should have either dropped the entire series or dropped multiple episodes at a time.
That I would agree with you on.
That's what they should
If they
have done.
did
But
that, I
either way,
think it'd be fine.
Yeah.
either way,
If they dropped the first
Good
4
show.
episodes,
Yeah.
boom, and then went back to back and week to week with 40-minute episodes and gave you 10 total, that'd be perfect.
I can tell you right now that every week on my Friday, which is my day off, I start it with WandaVision.
Yeah.
You know, start
do.
by with a
I
cup of
don't-
coffee and taking the kids to school.
Well, yeah, obviously I get them to school and then I come back and do absolutely nothing until I get WandaVision in.
Sit naked in a beanbag eating Cheetos watching WandaVision.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I do.
I will say Elizabeth Olsen is just
Unreal.
Amazing. Oh my
in
god.
this show.
She is
and Paul Bettany, too,
very-
is really good.
Paul Bettany blew me away when
And Louis Wong, is it Louis Wong? What's his name?
it's
Jimmy?
Jimmy Woo.
Jimmy Woo.
You were way off.
Yeah, good one. Good try.
Can we strike that?
Yeah,
Because that's not going to come off good when we're
I
famous.
can. No, I can. Get that out.
Listen, he's great. I love that guy. And I just recently rewatched Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
is such a good movie.
it is a very good movie.
And he's great in it, too.
I've been trying to get the boys to watch those type of movies, and they won't.
Jet wanted to watch it. He came up the other day to me, just walked up to me. He's like, I want to watch Ant-Man. I'm like, let's do it.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Throw her on.
All right. Do you got something, or do you want to give it up on time?
Yep.
Yeah.
Last one I'm going to talk about. It's going to be very short. Nobody's ever seen it between you two, I don't think. Is called a show called Billions.
He talks about it all the time.
You
Jerry.
do?
Every time he's on, he talks about billions.
I don't recall you ever talking about.
You are
this
the
show.
worst friend ever.
Are you kidding me right now?
I'm serious.
He's the one that told you about the show.
Really? Maybe
Yeah.
that's why it struck me.
Literally.
You've seen it? Paul Giamatti is.
I watched all
phenomenal.
5 seasons.
Oh my god.
God,
You remember that?
Yes.
worst friend
I'm serious.
ever.
I literally thought
And speaking of billions, episode 115, our last week's show, it was literally your worst effort at naming a show.
So are you?
Oh yeah, I did. I put
So
no
you
effort
watching
in
or
it.
are you just jacking with me?
No, I'm serious. I started watching it.
That's where you at.
I haven't finished the first season yet.
Oh man, it gets so much better.
But I've heard it like got really good, and then the fourth season it like dropped off.
That's the one with The
Yeah.
Rock, right? Where they're bringing the football team to Vegas.
Nope.
No.
That's ballers.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
a joke.
Oh, all right. I didn't.
Jokes.
No.
Well, now that my show's been pandered, I won't talk about it anymore. It is what it is.
Kind of like you guys like belittle me when you say, "Yeah, we talked about that last episode. You didn't listen, did you?" Kind of like.
Well, I mean, if you listen to the podcast,
listen to the freaking podcast.
Yeah, it's very easy to do.
Put that on the list for next week's spring stretcher.
What? Listening to the podcast?
What you texted me earlier this week about people texting you
Yeah,
about the
yeah,
show.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
we'll talk about that next week. Guys, Dirk said, Jerry just scored more points in my book. Is that because of the billions?
Of course it is.
Oh, okay.
Andy's my spirit animal. Or we're spirit animals, apparently. Something like that.
I should be everybody's role model in life.
Listen, wait, so Dirk,
Loves
you're
him.
his spirit animal or
I
he's
am.
your spirit animal?
Jerry
Or both?
is my spirit animal, is what he said.
Okay.
No. God, that's sad.
Yeah. Why is that sad? I think I'm pretty good.
George
pretty
Costanza.
rockin' ass guy.
All right, guys. For Snarf Talk this week, I've been Chris.
I'm dude.
I am Jerry.
See ya. Hey, also.
Oh my God.
God.
You can't ruin the ending like that.
You just wrecked it.
Bonus.
I gotta pee.
Patreon.com/SnarfComics is where we're going to have our honorable mentions for Adam Sandler movies.
We are.
So go over there, subscribe, you get bonus content, get a t-shirt, get all kinds of stuff.
Stickers, t-shirt, extra content. You get bundle-o snarfs. If you subscribe to that level,
Yeah.
we throw those out.
So for Snarf Talk this week, I've been Chris.
I'm dude.
I am Jerry.